Hello and welcome to Pro Tour Honolulu. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm here with Mike Flores, and we are getting ready for the quarterfinals of the biggest individual Pro Tour of all time. 410 competitors made the trip to the island of Oahu. There you get a good look at Craig Jones. After 16 rounds of Swiss, he was in first place. His zoo deck gave him the best record on the weekend, and now shook off some of his own personal demons. He's ready for this quarterfinal.
What does Craig credit this top 8 with?
He picked up a loss on day one?
That is correct. Craig Jones is like the undefeated machine. He's
went
like
8-0.
8-0.
Collapse.
Wheels fall off. He's like, he got the
Undefeated
strategic loss on day one, which allowed him to blossom like a veritable kaibude flower.
Yeah, Craig
the
often seen doing Grand Prix coverage in Europe, but he's really coming to his own as a constructed player of late. Meanwhile, his opponent, Antoine Ruel. There you get a good look at him. Looks like he has been enjoying Hawaii, don't you think?
I mean, he certainly couldn't be bothered to test this matchup, so I guess he had other things to do.
Yeah, we talk about Pro Tour LA, was the last Pro Tour before Worlds. Craig went 8-0 on day one, but Antoine Ruel is the guy who got to hoist the trophy and take home the big check. He won the last Pro Tour, which was a constructed Pro Tour, could in theory go back-to-back, but his plan for this tournament was a metagame gamble.
His plan for this tournament was exactly the same as his plan for LA. He played a deck that couldn't beat the default aggro deck, and his brother played the default aggro deck. He's just like, let's see what happens. And, I don't know if he got the right matchups again.
I hadn't really thought about it that way, but
the exact same thing. His deck couldn't beat a
His Psychotog deck in LA had a better game against aggro than his Owling deck.
We're talking about philosophical decisions, though.
Fair enough. No, it's a good point. Antoine basically sacrificed the aggro matchup in order to be amazing against control. There you see the key card, Ebony Aonetsuke, Exhaustion. This deck is just designed to ice out the opponent, trap a bunch of cards in their hand, plays Howling Mines to refill them, and then just punishes them for having cards in their hand.
Ebony Aonetsuke, there's a card that does nothing. Craig's deck is going to not have enough cards in hand ever, even with Howling Mine.
That's why this is a nightmare matchup. Even with Howling Mine, Craig Jones's creatures are so cheap that he can just drop them all onto the table. He never has enough hands to lose to the Stormseeker effect.
Do you know what that Howling Mine that Antoine is just played is going to do? It's going to put more shocks into Craig's hand.
Right.
Shocks that will be deployed into into Antoine's face, and this matchup's such a mess.
Yeah. Kurdape smashes over. What's the other creature?
Kami of the Ancient Law.
Oh, he's got Kami of the Ancient Law, sure.
A superb card in this
Burning
deck.
Tree Shaman.
Brian Schneider said that one of the main differences between the good beatdown decks and the not-so-good beatdown decks, from his opinion anyway, was that the good beatdown decks play Kami of the Ancient Law. Yeah. He said,
well, there's an Exhaustion. That's a good start for Antoine.
Sorry.
It means
gain
Craig
4 life.
Doesn't untap, and he doesn't. He can start to add up cards.
Faith Fetter's targeting nothing. That's what that did. He saved 4 life.
He also trapped some cards in Craig's hand because Craig doesn't have the mana to spend on them. Meanwhile, Antoine's down to 11.
Tapping for white.
And he still played 2 cards.
Look at how much Craig just has no respect for Antoine's ability to draw one of his 2 main deck Pyroclasms. Play the guys out. Pyroclasm or no? Looks like no.
I mean, his hand's going to get refilled even if he gets his board swept. Howling Mine's just going to refill it with more monsters, right?
Oh, I'm not saying that his play is wrong at all. He's just like, why should he respect it? He'll still keep 2 guys.
There's 9 points of power on Craig Jones' side of the board, and Antoine Ruel is on 11.
One of those Pyroclasms. It's got to be.
Ooh, Antoine does have the Pyroclasm.
There's still going to be 5 power left.
Does he have red mana?
4.
Oh, he goes for the Exhaustion. Nice, I like it. It's a little greedy, but what are you going to do?
He'll take 2.
He takes 2 down to 9. But if Craig plays another creature, then he can Pyroclasm and do something else potentially.
And Antoine's one of the best players in the world. He's got to have a plan here.
Yeah. Craig played just another land. All right. Antoine draws 2 cards. He's at 9, so there's lethal creature damage across the board from him. He's got to play the Pyroclasm.
He's also going to have a Boomerang play here. No, he's got a Boomerang or Kami of the Crescent Moon. Kami of the Crescent Moon can block Kurdape, don't forget.
That's true. Kurdape and Burning Tree Shaman both survive this, but he knocks the Burning Tree Shaman back, so now it's just a Kurdape. Kurdape is going to drop Antoine to 7, which is actually like, are there Volcanic Hammers in Craig's deck?
I don't think he's playing to the Blood hand.
Oh, he has Lightning Helix and Char in his hand. This game's over, right?
Probably.
Kurdape drops him to 7. That sure looks like a Char and a Lightning Helix. There's only 1 blue mana for Antoine, not enough for a remand.
I mean,
Lightning Helix.
Oh.
There it is.
Resolve it? Yeah, so you are 13. Helix.
That's the game, right?
16.
And there it is. Antoine scoops him up. Pretty good draw. I don't know how he draws it up a whole lot better. And he just
Quentin
got
will be
smashed.
cussing me for playing the shot off first, probably.
But I mean, look at Antoine's gonna have considerable cards that he can bring in that are good. He's got
What are you talking
he's got
about?
tons of good cards this matchup. He's got
As well.
he might twin cast the burn spell like Charyu.
Twin cast the
No,
charge.
no, it's Charyu.
It's not 20.
It's actually, Mike laughs, but Antoine made a very strategic decision when this tournament starts. You basically have two choices with an Ally Mine deck. You can say, I'm going to devote my entire sideboard to giving myself a decent game against aggro.
Like
I'm
Tiago
gonna have,
Chan did.
and which is kind of what Tiago Chan did. You can have a 15-card sideboard against Zoo decks and make that a 60-40 game after sideboarding. Still, you're kind of an underdog in a matchup, but at least it's, bring the matchup closer to a coin flip. Or you can do what Antoine Ruel did, and you can say, I abandon this matchup. It is a lost cause. I'm going to use my
These decks
sideboard
aren't gonna
to
make
be
day
even
two.
better against control. Even better deep in the field, even better against control. And that's what Antoine Ruel did. So his sideboard is mostly against control. He does have the other two Pyroclasms, and that's basically it. I don't know, maybe he brings in Goblin Flectomancer to block.
Mana Leak's okay on the play.
Yeah, he'll be playing first.
Okay.
I predict for 2 games. And then then he'll be headed
And then
back
we're
to
gonna
the
jump
beach.
over to the Heezy versus Osip match.
Wow, that was fast.
This match might not take 7 minutes.
I think it's been. I mean, they're going to shuffle for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right. But if you stapled all 3 games together, I don't think that you wouldn't break the 10-minute
Olivier
mark.
Ruel looking over and smiling and laughing at his brother. Yeah, I'm already down a game.
The Ruel brothers don't look anything alike. Did anyone ever point that out? They're like the Dudley boys,
Yeah, you get a good look at the feature match area. We're going to be bringing you coverage of all 4 matches. Hopefully, I mean, if we pick this one because it should end first, and then we'll be able to move some other guys in. See Osip versus Heezy over on the left of your screen. Got Olivier, Max Brock on the right, and on the back table, it's Tiago Chan and Ruud Varmenhoven. I like the Hawaiian shirts that the coverage staff.
Yeah,
is
these
wearing.
are the best shirts we've ever had.
Yeah?
No doubt.
How long have you been in Hawaii? Have you taken much of a vacation here?
I'm staying for a better part of the rest of the week after everyone packs up. Yeah, I brought my wife, my wife's best friend, and our daughter came with us. So
awesome.
My wife's best friend's been occupying my wife's time on the beach with my daughter the past couple of days. Like I literally everyone's like, oh, you guys want to go to dinner? Like by the time we're done working, my wife's usually in bed because at least my daughter's a little jet lagged. She gets it like 4 a.m. here or something.
Oof.
I mean, we're 5 hours out, so I mean, even with adjustment, she's like tiny, and little kids get up so early. So my wife's in bed by 10. Like we're not done working until like past 8 every night. So there's really no difference between whether I go back to the hotel room and or just draft until 3 in the morning, which is just awesome.
That works out.
It's like my wife doesn't care. So
she's asleep anyway.
Yeah, she's asleep anyway. So I mean, but
the rest of the week should be
fantastic time. So. Yeah, fewer drafts though. Like my wife's, she's not good at the 40 card decks.
Does Craig Jones have much in his sideboard that's relevant here?
Who cares?
I don't think it matters much, but
I mean he's probably got he's got 10 Street Hooligan. That's like
really
it's like an insult.
Wow.
It's like 10 Street Hooligan. Draw a card, 10 Street Hooligan you.
Wow. Now, why are the Jittes in Craig's sideboard?
No, this is a really interesting thing that I wanted to talk about. Like, if you look at the beatdown decks, some of the black-white decks play Jitte, but most of the red-green and red-green X decks, whether it's like blue, white, black, 4 colors, whatever, are not playing Jitte. Like, they're playing like Moldervine Cloak or nothing. Or like, Craig's got the weirdest creature enhancement card in the entire room. He's got 2 Bathen Light.
That card's awesome.
Yeah. It's like Counterspell, kind of, right?
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Like
it's Counterspell or it's Falter.
When you watch him get like card advantage against like two Threads of Disloyalty or something, it looks really cool.
Enjoy the moment.
Not Craig, but Stuart Wright's playing the same deck, and Stuart bathed in light through Eugene Harvey in the Swiss. I was just bathed in light. That wasn't on our short list of cards to play.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I guess like Jitte, it's a really bad tempo card in this field because the Zoo decks have so much instant speed burn. Tsuyoshi Fujita's deck, for example, has 20 burn cards.
So if you play a Jitte,
if you
go to
spend
equip
4
it.
mana on a Jitte and you're on the wrong end of a Lightning Helix, it's like
Yeah, okay.
you lost your whole turn and your guy.
Yeah, that sounds really bad.
So they're just like, let's just play more dudes. Craig Jones' deck is like very much like a philosophy of fire deck. He just wants to get like 4 or 6 damage in with his dudes and then unload with the burn spells. Let's check out Craig's hand. Does he have 10 Street Hooligan? And if he doesn't, I bet he draws it. I mean, he gets to draw double cards.
All right, Craig led with a Curd Ape. Antoine's got his turn to Howling Mine. Curd Ape crunches over.
Come on, 10 Street Hooligan.
No. I see a bunch of Isamarus.
Hound of Kanda.
Yeah, there's Isamaru.
Does he have a shock at least?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the other creature?
I see Shock, Isamaru. It might actually be a third Isamaru.
I would say that's not a particularly keepable hand, other than the fact that it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, it's Isamaru, Helix, Shock, and a couple lands.
That hand's fine. Like, even Pyroclasm here doesn't kill Curd Ape,
Right.
and he's got so many reload Isamarus, it's not like he's not even losing card advantage. The Isamarus in his hand are blank right now. Like, Antoine's seriously considering just casting Pyroclasm here. I think he's
sudden
gonna
impacts.
He's gonna play Kami of the Crescent Moon. It can block.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's probably going to die after its own blocking, given Craig's hand.
An update on the back table. Mark Herberholz has taken game 1 from Osip Lebedovich.
I said the matchup, I think the matchup belongs to Heezy on the cards.
Draw 3 cards?
Heezy's a fine player. I mean, he's got 3 top 8s.
I called Heezy to win Philadelphia, remember? Like,
Yeah.
I respect his game a great deal. I mean,
Antoine does play that Kami of the Crescent Moon. He's making everybody draw 3 cards a turn, 2 sudden impacts in his hand. Does he have a shot at this game?
Craig's on 18. You could reasonably do about 12. I doubt that he's gonna.
Basically needs 2 more turns for a pair of
The
sudden
problem here is
impacts.
that
That's not
Craig's
quite enough.
gonna gain
is it?
3 life right here.
Oh, Lightning Helix.
So-
And on the Kami of the Crescent Moon.
Yeah, so he
Ugh.
basically got to net a card and then kill Kami Crescent Moon. He basically counterspells one
And
of those.
gain 3 life.
Yeah, he counterspells one of
Like
those
half
sudden
of an impact or
impacts
something.
because unless an impact is lethal, it's not relevant.
2014.
2014.
Is it Mara?
20 to 14.
And Alliance.
Isn't it 20 to 12 because of that shock? Looked like Craig pointed a shock at Antoine's face.
Isn't it down to 12 now? From 16 down to...
I think I might have taken 2 from the...
2 from a Curd Ape, 2 from a Shock, and now 4
Oh,
of
the
attack
shot.
creatures.
Right, yes. I just assumed I got I marked 2 off you for the land.
So Antoine's on 12. He's facing 6 power.
Watchwolf, Char, and Grip.
Boomerang standing.
Pick one.
So versus 12, obviously Pyroclasm's going to hit here.
Go. 11.
That cost Antoine a point, right? So he's down to 11. There's only 6 coming this turn.
Oh, yes, sure, yeah.
Oh, what happened to the forest? Oh, Boomerang.
Oh, nice. See, Boomerang the Forest. That way Curd Ape would die to
well
Pyroclasm.
played, Mr. Ruel.
Antoine knows what he's doing. I mean, if anybody could win this matchup, it probably is Antoine Ruel. I mean, he's been at the top of Magic. He's been at the top of the Player of the Year race for like 4 years.
Do you remember when he juked Kenji in LA? That was the awesomest, right? When he walked him into Force Spike on the Psychotog.
That was spectacular. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Ruel did manage to Pyroclasm the board away, but of course Jones's hand is being filled by those Howling Mines. He just refills. Another update for you. Tiago Chan has taken game 1. Leads Rude Marmonhoven 1-0.
My picks are terrible today, it looks like.
So far.
Good thing I'm going to get this one right. And another Pyroclasm.
Go.
Look at an evacuation too. Is that
Do you think he's going to just take 5 and then evacuate? If he takes 5, he's going to go to 7.
6? He's at 11 because he took the
Oh,
Pain point.
6. So he's just going to die to the
Seems a little
Char.
scary.
Like Char shocks.
Evacuates before combat, prevents the 5, and forces Craig to replay.
If Craig's got a shot, game's over.
No, he didn't take the 5. He's
Oh,
at
he didn't
11.
take the 5, I'm sorry.
Evacuated before combat. Still got 2 sudden impacts and a Pyroclasm and a Boomerang in Antoine Ruel's hand. But Craig's on 19.
Lightning Heal is surprisingly relevant in this matchup.
Killing that Kami was good for Craig.
No, I mean just gaining 3 life.
That's 2. You got another one, another first game right, Mike. Olivier Ruel wins game 1.
Yeah.
Takes game 1 from Max Brock. So everybody now in game 2. Craig Jones up a game, so is Olivier Ruel, so is Tiago Chan, so is Mark Herberholz.
Lightning fast matches.
How many cards are going to have, please?
We might be done at like 2 p.m.
I wonder what we can find to do.
Draft. John Finkel's running a draft right now.
I hear he's been drafting like a fiend.
John Finkel loves
7 days a week or something.
There's rumors that there's an insidious plot where WotC just ships John boxes of guild packs. First of all,
to get him to come to Prague.
No one ever pays for their own drafts at John's. Like, we don't bring our own cards anymore.
Really?
John has like a vault of cards under his. He has like a TV the size of your wall, and
right.
Surrounded by Pro Tour trophies and
Okay.
dancing girls. And underneath it, you move one of the dancing girls aside, and there's like a chest of guild pack boxes. Then he just hands out the packs. So John sent out an email. He's like, "I'm buying Katz's delicatessen." He's buying like hundreds of dollars worth of deli meat sandwiches that everyone loves. Show up at my house at 1. There's just gonna be like drafto.
Nice.
I think John will be much more prepared for Prague than people are going to expect. He doesn't lose very often.
A prepared John Finkel could be scary in Prague.
He loves Magic the Gathering. I don't know, like something. I think
It's a good game.
I think it's just like you guys just started sending him, guild pack boxes.
I don't think we're sending him the boxes.
Yeah.
Rumor has it.
All right. Well, Kami the Crescent Moon goes down to another Lightning Helix. There is a sudden impact pointed at Craig Jones' skull. That's why he took this moment to drop a card.
8.
Look at all those.
Does take 8 damage, down to 11. So it's tied. 11 to 11.
So that's interesting. Do you think that Bathe and Light is better than Guerrilla Tactics in this match? What, did he not sideboard? I guess Burning Tree Shaman's a little slow. I mean, he's obviously brought in 10th Street Hooligan, right? 4th Flames of the Blood Hand he brought in.
Sure.
I'm just wondering why his Bathe and Light counter Pyroclasm? Doesn't seem like he's be that relevant.
It's like the first real feature match I get.
All right. Antoine falls to 5.
Another Pyroclasm. Not going to kill that Watch Wolf.
Oh, Craig, is that a... Takes 2 from a Stomping Grounds.
Oh, look at this counter spell he's got. This is a nice counter spell. A Char here actually counters all the Pyroclasms in Antoine's deck.
What do you mean?
He can't cast. He doesn't have.
Because Antoine's at 5?
Yeah, because if he's at 5, he can't tap for red. Unless is he have Steam Vent under there that I'm just not seeing?
I don't think so. It looks like
he can't cast Pyroclasm anymore.
I think the round before, like when I was had a shot of making something like 2 rounds before it or something. I was sitting next to an NC and I asked him
so you're talking about Jitte, which is shortlist high level card, right? I was talking to Mori last night. The Japanese card valuations for this format are just so different than I would have expected. Like my top list is like Sakura Tribe Elder, Umezawa Jitte, Gifts I'm Giving.
You're terrible, but you're nice.
And Mori said they had Loxodon Hierarch 1,
like an Anton said,
Fobmaher 2, Remand 3.
Wow. Remand's really interesting card in this format. I think this has really been almost a coming out party for that card.
Remand's 3.
I'm not saying it's the 3rd best card in the format, like the Japanese are apparently saying. But think about what it does for this Owl deck. I mean, it's a counterspell and +1 hand size. That's spectacular. And just the way the format has evolved, and people are playing such expensive cards, 5s and 6s and 7-mana spells.
I was really down on the Debtor's Knell and Angel Despair decks, coming to this tournament also on after day 1, and I was receiving some criticism. And I'm like, I don't see 7s as being realistic in a format with mana. With Mana Leak and Remand. And Heezy has just won game 2.
Wow, Mark Herberholz already up 2-0 against Osip. And Craig Jones is... He tries to Bathe in Light to defend Watch Wolf from... What was the blue spell? What is that blue spell?
Giga Drowse?
From Giga Drowse, yeah. So Antoine's got Giga Drowse. He's trying to tap both Craig's creatures. Craig attempts to counter it with Bathe in Light. That's kind of funny. Replicate fighting against Radiance. Both spells affect both creatures. But now Antoine is going to fizzle the Bathe in Light with a Boomerang. So Watch Wolf gets boomeranged, Bathe in Light fizzles, and Isamaru gets tapped. Antoine preserves his last 5 points of life.
What do you do if you're Craig? You just play land and pass?
You gotta...
I don't think you gotta do anything.
Don't you have to replay Watch Wolf? I mean, Watch
He
Wolf...
has like more than lethal left.
If he gets to untap. Was Bathe in Light the right play there?
Did you win that one?
I'm not sure I like that Bathe in Light
is
play.
5 in. I think he was trying to
Only
see
if it resolves, but like his
I
burn
think he
spells.
was trying to find. He was fishing for a remand. He doesn't care if it resolves. He's fishing for a remand. He has more than lethal damage in his hand.
Right, but Bathe in Light can be countered by both Remand and Boomerang, whereas Lightning, Helix, and Char can only be countered by Remand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice. Just give me his.
I think he's just fishing for a remand, or maybe Antoine.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that was the correct play.
Well, you're saying
Alright.
just let him tap the guys.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. If he's got lethal burn in his hand, probably not.
So
I mean,
afraid of like falling off this year since I couldn't test for gates and I can't test for
so Craig plays a Curd Ape
so traveling.
and leaves 3 mana untapped. Antoine draws 2 cards.
Mana leak.
Craig's at 13, is that right? It's
Craig's
11
at
to 5. That's what I
11.
thought.
So
Craig's actually at 11.
Antoine just has to live through this turn, and you could kill Craig.
Yes. Oh, he can't even sudden impact. Oh, that is a Steam Vents down there, isn't it? He's got 1 Steam Vents. He's got 1 pain-free source of red mana if he wants to stay out of Char range.
I mean, he's like a little bit air, but
Go.
he shouldn't be like the world thinks he's better than he is. Like, Bus, like,
Yeah, I guess I have to do it.
No, he's
No,
only got
they're both
Shivan Rings.
Shivan
I was initially correct.
Okay. That's unfortunate for Antoine.
Yeah, I think he knows he can't cast a red spell.
I took one.
Well, he takes
Yeah.
1.
Thank you.
Could be game
Sudden
boys.
impact.
Call you.
What is that?
Ancestral recall.
What? What is going on?
Are you dead or?
You ancestral?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm at 1. I'm dead.
You bought an ancestral from the dude where you got it from the friend.
Antoine brought in Ancestral Recall. Is that what just happened?
I'm shocked.
Win that one?
And not even cheating and adding Type 1 cards to his deck will work.
Like a good cyber.
Well, thanks for shop.
Ancestral.
Buy it. Was played in prototype age.
I don't think he paid for sponsorship time.
Boy.
Wow.
Yeah, he is. Like, I so respect the guy. And
So Craig Jones wins game 2.
Mine didn't work.
I'm surprised that Heezy won game 2 before Craig won.
Yeah, I am too, actually.
Looking at me like, oh, I did something wrong.
Like I said, Heezy has deck advantage. I think Osip's really going to have to dig down deep to win this matchup now.
yeah, I'll ship this as well. I was expecting it.
But the 0-2 trios happened more than once on quarterfinal matches.
And then hope he doesn't, like, he's stuck with
Say that again?
The 0-2 trio has happened more than once in quarterfinal matches.
Yeah, it's true.
So
It's true. Osip's certainly capable of coming back.
Osip's first Pro Tour top 8, he actually was up 2 in his quarterfinal match and lost the next 3.
If you had no blast, I would have won this game. No blast, I win.
Like, the thing is, like, once you get, like, mines and combis going, and not a whole lot I can do, but, like, I just need some action.
Yeah, I guess you've been lucky like this all the weekend.
Second turn.
To top 8 with you.
So we're actually going to jump over to the Heezy Osip matchup.
Yeah, let's go check in. Antoine Ruel is clowning around, enjoying his airtime, and even Ancestral Recall wasn't
Can't win
good
with
enough.
Ancestral Recall. I think we're just going to move matches.
Yeah, but, like, I don't put enough pressure on you, like, to really be aggressive.
Yeah, Osip Lebedovich, I was not expecting him to be down 0-2. Certainly not this quickly either.
Something wrong about this
He might have just not drawn land. We didn't see the first couple of matches. I mean, who knows?
I did hear, by the way, in the Olivier Ruel versus Max Brock match, that Brock managed to use Invoke the Fire Mind to drop Olivier to 3 in that first game, and Olivier had Dark Confidant in play, so it all came down to what Bobby flipped up. Bobby said, land, 0 damage, and Olivier was able to attack for the kill.
Bobby's a good man.
Because, like,
And the Japanese have him at 2. They wouldn't have him at number 2 if he killed you.
Like, he just went, like, even more reaches.
He kills the opponent, not you. So let's talk about Heezy's sideboard is so mean.
Really?
He has Blood Moon and 10th Street Hooligan.
Wow.
Like most of the time, like people Blood Moon the blue red Tron deck are like, it kind of sucks. We don't have a completely degenerate mana engine.
But you still have Izzet.
Yeah, but the Signets crush them anyway. But 10th Street Hooligan is its Signet, and then Osip just pretty much just has to play Ryusei. We have no basic island, so if Izzet Signet goes away, it's very difficult to hit your blue manas. Because we have no basic, we actually had Boiling Seas in the sideboard for a while because we had no basic.
Wow.
Boiling Seas in your blue deck is pretty cool, right?
Not bad. Nobody has enough islands for that to really be good against, though, right?
We thought that Jushi Blue was going to be more played than it was, at least for a while.
Okay.
But then, like, the matchup was such a blowout. Like, it was like basically playing the mirror match where one deck had 3 times as much mana.
That's an interesting look. Oh, he's starting to smile. He's not clowning around like he normally does. You can tell he's down 2 games, I think. He's normally, I mean, he's a lot of fun to watch. So I was particularly enjoying the match between him and Ben Goodman yesterday. They were playing top 8s on the line with a round to go, and they were both just having so much fun with the match. I mean, just sort of insulting each other but smiling. I mean, they all knew it wasn't good fun. Nobody was being mean-spirited about anything, but it was just a lot of fun to watch. I was particularly impressed by Ben Goodman, who was given as good as he was getting. I mean, I think it was the kid's first or second Pro Tour. Second Pro Tour. He's got a spectacular deck.
He was
that
top 8
Talowith
in
deck.
Grand Prix Philadelphia, I think.
Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, he seemed totally composed. Like there's a giant crowd around that match, but he seems completely comfortable with it and was, bantering back and forth with Osip. It was nice. And I know you were impressed by Ben's deck too.
I really like that deck. Yeah, like my favorite kind of cards are the ones that other people think are like unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Pro Tour Philadelphia, Tsuyoshi Vegeta's deck with Honor Worn Shaku, and cards like Gnarled Mass. I really like where you beat someone with Gnarled Mass. Like what just happened?
The highest Flores plays is you beat me with with something I thought previously was unplayable.
The best 10th Street Hooligan and Heezy's opening hand. What a hater. But
no force for the Kurdabe. Kurdabe swinging for 1 this game.
Hope Levidovich.
Yeah. That Goodman deck list, by the way, if you haven't seen it, look it up. It's awesome. Talowist, it's got like Pillory of the Sleepless, Enfeeblement, all these crazy auras you can get with the Talowist.
Land, or is he gonna have to play naked? Signet?
I see land Signet in his hand right now, and he's got a land in play.
I think he should respond to Rusalka with Repeal. Yeah,
and he does. Yeah, he's not going to be able to draw a card off that Repeal once he lets the Rusalka resolve.
It's key that he has to draw land. If he doesn't draw land, he's in trouble.
Draws
and
land.
That's very key. So you see how Osip has Izzet Repeal here? And as well as Pyroclasm. He's going to let Heezy come in for damage and possibly play up to 2 drops.
I think he's got a Blaze, not a Pyroclasm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Heezy attacks with this Rusalka. Drops Skarg. Still no green mana at all. He's got Burning Tree Shaman in his hand, but it doesn't help. I think there's another Kurdabe there.
Against Skarg, I think it might be worth remanding that. No? Unless he might have Pyroclasm. No. You're sure it's Blaze, no Pyroclasm.
Not positive.
And a drop is made. Osip's a miser, so drop is made.
I mean, he's definitely top decked well all weekend, but the way the deck is built, because it's got so many cantrips, you often get to top deck twice a turn. Like your first top deck is an Electrolyze, you point at your opponent's head and top deck again. And like with top 8 on the line against Ben Goodman, that's precisely what he did.
Enormous play here.
So now here's Electrolyze. He's able to target both creatures, split it up.
Which means that he still gets to draw a card.
Exactly. The Rusalka cannot fizzle the draw a card spell, so both of Heezy's creatures are dead, and Osip gets to draw a card.
Osip is very wary of Blood Moon in this situation because of the 10th Street Hooligans in Heezy's deck. It's unkicked Hooligan is good times. Osip is
Hooligan comes down as a 2-1 beater.
This game may be over. He's going to Telling Time for a land and then drop the Tide Star.
Tega coming down. Needs a land in the top 3.
Yeah, 3 cards to a land is not going to be hard.
3 cards, none of them are land.
None of them are land.
None of them are land. 2 of them are Pyroclasms. That seems okay.
Also OK+. What was the third? I'm sorry, I didn't see. We actually had bottle gnomes in our side.
Oh, it wasn't land. My bad. It was 2 pyroclasms and an Urza land.
Char.
Kega. Kega comes down. This match is definitely looking good for Osa. All right, there's the green mana. He's finally got green mana, but I think it's a little too late. He needed to 10-street away the Signet. And, I mean, beefing up those Kurt Apes would have been nice, too.
Osa's probably just going to blaze Pyroclasm here. He lost a Tsuyoshi Vegeta because he got too greedy on a Pyroclasm.
Yeah.
I may be very surprised if he doesn't blaze Pyroclasm attack for 5. Once the Tide starts down, he cannot remove it. I talked to him about the lack of threatens in his sideboard, and he told me that he thought that that only happens in dreams.
That you get to threaten the Kega?
Yeah, I threatened dragons and then sacked them to Rusalka and testing a ton, and he's the one really, like... the history is our deck has Giant Solifuge, which was completely untested coming into this tournament.
Okay.
But I tested a red beatdown deck, and Giant Solifuge was just awesome.
Yeah.
And Osip was like, hey, why don't we just play it in this deck? We have Ryusi the Falling Star, and it's just like at one point that was just a Mahamodi gen. We were afraid of getting multiple Cranial extracted, and it just allowed us to diversify the threats in the sideboard, regardless. And
that's a good point. I think a lot of the really good deck builders did diversify their threats against Cranial extraction. I was really surprised how many of the Owl decks, for example, just had all sudden impacts. Like, wouldn't you throw in a couple of Gaze of Adamaros just to make sure you don't lose Cranial extraction on sudden impact?
Really keeping up, Josh Ravitz, for example, he got Cranial extracted for Blaze. His opponent despondently looked through his deck. There was only one Blaze in the deck.
Right.
And then Josh immediately top decked Invoke the Fire Mine for a kill. And, Osa probably did it about 6 times. Because we played with both.
Right.
Originally it was 3 Tidings. Yep. And we found that Tidings was kind of slow. You weren't casting Tidings in the games that you were winning or losing. If you were losing, Tidings was it might not be enough tempo. If you're winning, it's because you were casting Dragons rather than Tidings. So we mixed it up by initially adding a single Invoke the Fire Mine, and then Blaze just took the last spot. Highly effective. And Osip does not run the Blaze Pyroclasm play. Is Mark really at 8? What would Mark be at 8 from?
I think he's at 18. Yeah, 18. A couple of interesting stories around Mark Herberholz. First of all, you may have seen something about this in the Pro Tour LA coverage. While the Pro Tour was in Los Angeles, Herberholz and a group of guys went to see The Price is Right. Herberholz came on down and actually won $5,000 on The Price is Right, the show that aired in December. It was kind of a hilarious show. I think it's floating around the internet if you Google it. It's worth watching. He had a good time with it. Gerard Fabiano fan club T-shirt. That was fun.
Much more animated than you'll see Heezy in this match.
Yeah, he starts shadow boxing. The other thing that I find really interesting about Herberholz is he went to the beach house with those guys. He was only there for a couple of days, but, the beach house, there's a bunch of this in the coverage. A bunch of guys rented a beach house, on the ocean, came here a month before the Pro Tour just to have fun, hang out, draft, play Constructed. Those guys put a lot of time into Constructed, came up with a black-white control deck touching green for City Tree and Loxodon Hierarch. They felt like that was a really good fit for the field, but Herberholz showed up just a couple days before the Pro Tour, crashed at the beach house. It was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this control deck. And he decided to run this one instead, or basically a Gruul deck. And now he's the one in the top 8. So he's representing the beach house, but he's not playing the beach house deck.
Their deck didn't seem very good to me. You'll notice fantastic players out of that group, and none of them are top 8.
I know. It's an excellent point, especially you look at the fact Heezy isn't the only beach house person in this top 8. Antoine Ruel also spent a fair amount of time at the beach house.
Switched decks.
Antoine switched decks, audibled into the Owl deck.
And beat 2 or 3 of the beach house guys with their slow green, black, white deck.
Right.
Do
you think the beach house just underestimated the presence of the Owl deck?
The beach house thinks that V2 the City Tree is number 1. So, their theory was that they have more elimination than other decks. They win a long attrition war and then win with V2 the City Tree.
Right.
Which is not how it worked out.
No, it just didn't work. I think the presence of the Owl deck had to hurt them a lot. That's they get slaughtered in the late game against that deck. And even against Gifts, it seems like Gifts, and either with Greater Good or like Greater Good or Gifts or the two
a lot
together.
Of options, I think I just think when you play reactive decks, like if everything doesn't fall into place like dominoes, so many different things can go wrong.
I think in general, control decks rarely win the Pro Tour. It's usually something aggressive, something making threats. Rather than trying to,
I think is the right. Like
sure.
Osip's deck, I think you would call a control deck.
No, but it's threats. It's proactive.
It's tap out.
I should say reactive decks rarely win the Pro Tour. That's I think what I meant to say. Just so much more consistent to be proactive and making threats and trying to force your opponent to answer what you've got.
Osip's got 2 towers, a blaze, and a pyroclasm. Does he have close to Tron? I think he's trying to run the math on how many turns he has to live before he can cook easy. Like there's so many things that have to go right. Like he has to not lose his Kaga.
Antoine Ruel is extending the hand. Craig Jones wins in a sweep. Craig Jones through to the semifinals as expected. 3-0 sweep against Antoine Ruel.
Worst matchup in the history of Pro Tour top 8s.
60 events. I don't think there's ever been a more lopsided matchup. But hey, hats off to Antoine Ruel for getting here. And you know what? With the new payout this year, the new prize payout, everybody who makes the top 8 pockets at least $10,000. So Antoine, I guess he was the 8 seed coming in, so he knows he's going to finish 8th on Breakers. $10,000 for his Owling Mine metagame gambit.
A fine outing.
And he's the first person to attempt to play Ancestral Recall on camera. Perhaps since, I guess, was the Type 1 Pro Tour in Dallas on camera?
I don't know.
Think Scott Johns won back
Scott
in the day?
Johns.
I think that's the first Ancestral Recall cast on a Sunday stage.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Osip just pyroclasms the 10th Street Hooligan.
Just the Hooligan?
Yeah.
This is one-handed.
All right. Keezy points flames with a blood-handed Osip.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Take 6.
Osip to 6.
Go.
Solifuge came down. That let both the Burning Trees get by.
Pretty sure Osip's got the kill.
Osip, Blaze, smash.
Well played by Osip.
Blaze to the head.
I had Tron.
That would be at 13.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Keezy's going to double check the
7,
math.
8, 9, 10, 11, 14.
Actually, wait a minute. You had the Signet out there, but you played the...
I had
out there, and you played the Minomal on the last turn.
Yeah, I had the Tron already in play.
Yes. But you had 1 tower in play, not 2.
Oh, okay.
Because you played that on
I mean, I know it was enough because I was calculating from before, but 7,
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 13.
Wait. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Yep. Keezy confirms that Osip had enough mana, and Blaze gets Osip on the scoreboard. Osip is now down 2 games to 1 against Mark Herberholz.
So, Randy, from the 1-2 position, do you think Osip's got the chops to win the next 2?
He's certainly capable of it, no question. I mean, both these guys have been here 3 times.
What?
Osip, 3 constructeds. Keezy, 1 limited.
That's a good point.
And the degree of difference in the decks he played probably the most complicated version of Gifts Ungiven in Philadelphia. And he is... he played the version with 2 wearaways, which was key in his defeat of Kai Bude in an elimination match. And in this tournament, he's playing such a straightforward beatdown deck. Do you think that there's any generalizations you can make about players from something like that? Whereas Osip, 3 times top 8, his top 8s are every single time control deck with aggressive finisher. He had Psychotog,
Right.
he had slide with a chroma finish,
Right.
which was key in the formation of the new legend rule. I understand it.
Yeah.
And this time, once again, early game control, late game giants deck. So
I find it really interesting just that there are clearly constructed specialists emerging in the game. I mean, there are clearly players who, for years people were, limited is just more skill testing, constructed is just about getting a good net deck, and I think it's clearly not true. I think there are clearly players who are specializing in construction, and there are builders that are able to innovate and just, equip their...
Osip won the first, I believe he won the first Grand Prix with Ravager Affinity.
Right.
With the Aether Vial version.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Karsten put it on the map, although I believe Julian was the one who...
Julian hooked Frank up with Aether Vial.
But, Frank put it on the map, but Osip was the first one to win. But to be fair, he has multiple Grand Prix top 8s with limited formats.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a great player. But, I mean, he's one of those guys that actually is better at constructed than limited, I think.
Who else is better at constructed than limited?
You can make a case for Heezy.
What about...
Heezy always seems to show up, and he's sort of, he seems to skate under the radar, and then he just always look up, and suddenly he's playing for top 8, or he's finishing in the top 16. Craig Jones is an obvious candidate. Craig Jones, 8-0 day 1 in LA, 7-1 here, through
Would you
the
say
number 1 seed.
Limited Pro Tour champion Gabriel Nassif?
Nassif, I'm very tempted to play. I think he's always been underrated as a limited player. Like he's been pigeonholed as a constructed specialist. I think he's better at constructed, and he's clearly very good at constructed. Also a great limited player. But yeah, sure, Gabe Nassif.
What do you guys do for the encore?
So, yeah, I think that's really. I think just
so then I scoop up my cards and I'm like,
Heezy's deck in Philadelphia was so different than the deck that he had today, whereas Osip all three of the top 8s are
like that
similar philosophically.
And I did scoop.
Like early game, defend,
that 10 years
finish it quickly.
I'd probably just have to go in the bathroom again. Half because I don't want to show my face, and half because I ate way too much Mexican.
I think that game was largely decided on the fact that Heezy didn't draw Forest.
Yeah.
And he was forced to play unkicked 10 Street Hooligan, and his Kurt Ape hit for half as much damage. Honestly, I think that's probably the reason Osip won. He was at like 6 or something at the end.
Man, if only I would have ripped the Forest on turn 2.
And Heezy points out, if only I had ripped a Forest.
Yep. So all these quarterfinals are best 3 out of 5. After the quarterfinals, there is going to be a lunch break.
Must be nice,
and queued up for lunch break entertainment, we have the Pro Tour 1 video. Showdown in New York.
I have a
in honor of the 10-year anniversary of the Pro Tour, 10-year birthday, we're going to be showing off Pro Tour 1. It's Michael Lecanto versus Bertrand Lestrade.
Who do you call in the Lecanto versus Lestrade match? I mean, I like Lestrade on deck and Lestrade on skill. But Lecanto on 62 cards and 6 counters.
It's funny, I said reactive decks never win the Pro Tour, but Lecanto did. There was a long time when Lecanto was the only reactive deck to win the Pro Tour.
Yeah, Lecanto had card advantage.
I didn't mean to give the ending away. But
62 cards. He had card advantage.
You know that kid?
I haven't seen that video. I don't know if I'm going to go to the player launch. I just want to watch that.
Will it be archived?
Yeah, it'll be archived, I'm sure. I'll go watch it some other time.
Look at how happy Osip looks after getting the
all of a
monkey
sudden,
off
look,
his back.
he's talking, he's got his game face back on.
Telling him what?
He dropped after his 8-0 initial day 1. He dropped his first 2 matches on day 2, and then he finally got the monkey off his back. It was a desperate win, and then he was like, he was Osip again.
I'm like just so confused. We can't believe this guy's coming up to him and saying this.
Yeah.
And Antonio's like, "Can you please just leave me alone, douchebag?" And the kid's like, "Okay, whatever. Do you like pie?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, do you like the pie yesterday?" So we didn't get the joke, and we're like, "Oh, because Antonio's fat." But the kid's not even in that good shape either.
Yeah.
So it's like a slightly less fat person telling a fatter person, "Hey, you're fat." I just told that story because I heard it from the audience.
Yes, Osip's on the mic.
Osip's on mic? That story was public information?
Apparently.
That was a funny story, in my opinion.
Remember we paid our waitress to pie Gabe Walls in the face? And the whole time he's just like, "Mize, free pie, it's my lucky day."
Like she not only just hit him in the face with it, she like really hit him hard, and the plate like hit him too.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Really close game on the back table with Tiago Chan. He's got 1 point of life left, and apparently
Olivier
facing a Ghost Council, but lethal sudden impact. Rude was able to duck under it by dumping 2 last gas from his hand.
That's awesome. Awesome play.
I think 1 life apiece.
Yeah, but like that
Sure.
just means if there's a Ghost Council in play, he just has to draw a creature.
That's better than I expected.
No, he had to kill the Ghost
Oh, he had to
Council.
kill the Ghost
Yeah,
Council.
so he had to double last cast
Oh,
just to get
wow.
under sudden impact.
Maybe just rip another Ghost Council.
That would do it.
Get the
You see your playing first?
Yep.
Looks like these guys are about ready to go for game 4.
Okay.
Peasy on a keep. Peasy's grip includes forest and mountain.
Please.
Man,
Osip
Oh,
to
so
6.
goes down to 6.
it's something like
Another thing that's going on in the sort of Pro Tour world these days is the invitational balloting. It's worth talking about a little bit because one of the things we will be unveiling today during the live webcast is the winner of the player vote.
We're not going to reveal who won the writer vote, though, right?
The writer vote will be revealed next week.
Okay.
So next Friday, if you tune into Brian David Marshall's column, you get to hear who won the writer vote. You also get to hear who won the European ballot, which is currently posted. So if anybody wants to go to the website right now and vote, you can vote on which European player should represent that continent in the invitational.
Pretty sure, like front page of Magic Gathering.
Oh, looks like Tiago Chan managed to take that game.
Tour Honolulu champion.
They just-
Mark dies of alcohol
they just have to-
poisoning.
they just
And
have
it's
to ban
all
me
long
for
enough
life
to
so
get
they
that
don't have to
owl
tell
to
the
finish
community.
off Rue
Lifetime
Varmanova.
ban.
Yeah, they're just gonna deny all your existence.
Nico Koro
There's
shoved a
actually
card into
any
Rue's hand.
anyway.
It's just like we just
And
decided everyone
evacuation
wanted Pro Tour.
got the last creature up to get him to 7 cards, and the owl killed
They're
him.
like,
What a
Wow.
poor attitude.
Nico Koro plus
Dylan Moreno
evacuation.
made it to top 8.
Look at these cards. What a poor attitude. Pico Koro and Owl. Why not just play a bear? That's what Magic's about, attacking with a bear.
Dylan Moreno Star Wars Kid final, that would be quite the match.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
The kid with the mullet is the guy who never buttons his shirt.
I think the best finals ever must have been the Antonio DeRosa Nate Heiss.
It's a Grand Prix final.
I can't even imagine that.
That's Grand Prix
Like, Nate
Kansas
had
City.
Mind Slayer and it was perfect because he
I
always
think he
messed
was
his own
there.
group.
Like, I can't even imagine watching my friend win the Grand
It's
Prix.
like Nate mind-slavers you and you like high-five your friend.
No, it's
Good.
probably gonna feel what it's like for Portuguese players.
So on the Invitational, the European ballot is up right now. We've already the ballots that were determined this last Friday. We found out that the Latin American ballot
Obviously, I knew it was
won
nice
by
this
Jose Barbero. Close match over Carlos Ramal.
It is.
We also found out just this last Friday that Antoine Ruel was the judge's pick to go to the Invitational.
But back to this match, Osip is really on the ropes. There's 2-3 toughness creatures in play. He's going to have to pull something out of his hat, I think, to not
Smash,
find himself
smash.
eliminated in about 2 minutes.
Telling them.
Do I sound like a cheater or not?
Sure.
'Cause I
So
really-
he's got to be down to 3, 5, 7, 13. That's a 2-turn clock, basically. Yeah,
Wow.
Easy's got anything.
On the play, Kurt Abe
He's
and
got a
Scatplant
lot of
Mahler.
red cards in his hand.
Is Mark Herberholtz about to move to the semifinals?
Looks like it.
But is he like a good friend of yours?
The Pyroclasm is just nothing right now. I mean, he's just probably just going to blast him now for 4 if he's got a Char or Flames of the Blood hand.
Oh yeah, we're playing.
And he's holding not only a Char, but Giant Solifuge and 10 Street Hooligan. He
Oof.
could not have asked for a better draw on the play. I believe Osip's going to
Yeah,
have
all his mana is untapped, right? So he gets
Yeah.
charred,
he charged.
attacked for 4. That's 8. Osip's at 5.
Osip will play.
No, he untaps, plays Solifuge. He's at 1, right?
No, Osip will play Signet, and it
Do you
depends.
10 street it or play Solifuge?
I think you 10 street it because Osip's then forced to play reactive, and
Right.
then no matter what happens, you just always close the game with Giant
With
Solifuge.
Solifuge.
Yeah, Osip will direct whatever reactive card.
Oh,
he
nice
has
play.
against him.
Osip tapped out at the end of Mark's turn to play that telling time, and Herberholtz took the opportunity to throw in a char that could not get
It's
remanded.
okay. Here goes Signet. If he rips land, he might go for the Solifuge, but I doubt it. I think he's just going to
Smash. 2 Kurt Apes into the red
He's
zone.
like, no, that's a
That drops Osip to 4.
that's the Watch Wolf, whatever it's called. Scapman Mauler.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think he's just going to 10 street here.
10 street hooligan.
Has to go for the Mono League.
Used to test with no one.
Yep. Mana Leaks 10 street defends his Signet.
Like,
So
he's
what does he
gonna
draw
have
here?
to
Does he have
forget
a
to
game?
attack or something.
What does he do? His hand is Remand, Electrolyze, Compulsive Research, Compulsive Research?
It's almost impossible for him to win, I think.
Oh yeah.
Osip's life is
5.
yeah, lethal's in play.
Yeah,
He
I think
had
those creatures are lethal.
He had to rip Moloku, then rip land to play Kiga.
So he goes Electrolyze and crosses his fingers?
No, there's nothing. If he has to electrolyze. Oh, he electrolyzed into land and then pyroclasm.
Wow.
Like the thing is,
But he telling timed. I think he knows what's on top.
Literally?
3.
No, he already
No, he does not know what's on top.
So he can
Yeah, I think his
electrolyze
play is
1/1.
Electrolyze 1/1 and play Pyroclasms on top of his deck. Or to play land for
Play
the
land
Pyroclasm.
pyroclasm. Just to leave a red up. It's actually a reasonable prayer here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long shot, but
If
that
Easy
is...
if Easy doesn't draw land, then there's no Solifuge for 1 turn. It's only Burning Tree.
Sure.
Oh, he goes for Compulsive Research? What does that do?
yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, by the way, Heezy has Flames of the Blood Hand in his hand. I guess that technically only does 4. What is he Compulsive Researching for?
I don't know.
Does he have... He wants Repeal, I guess. Wants to repeal Curdape for 2 mana?
Spartan Society and Ancient Trees.
Oh, he didn't have the land in his hand, so the
When boys were raised,
Did he have
That'd
Pyroclasm?
be-
No, there it is. Mark Herberholz. Wow, what a draw. Congratulations, Mark Herberholz. 3-1. He defeats Osip Lebedovich, and then Heezy will be the American that goes through to the semifinals.
Wow.
Heezy
This
will be
changes.
representing the Beach
Changes a
House.
lot. It looks like Tiago's up 2 games, right?
Tiago's up 2-0.
Tiago's sideboard
Yeah,
of
that's the only way
Blood
to
Moon
win
is
the
so
match.
ineffective against Heezy's deck when compared to
Oh,
a
it's
real
red-green
deck.
instead of Zoo.
It's red-green.
Like, if
He's
I'm
got
on a play, it's
Forest.
really
So
bad.
we could have another Owl
Yeah,
versus
I
Zoo
need
match
to
in the
just-
Yeah,
semis.
Heezy will just blow him out.
Wow, Mark Herberholz is great shape to go to the finals.
And then Heezy versus Olivier in the finals?
Or Craig Jones.
I'm picking Olivier still.
Heezy could easily win this
Not
Pro
on the
Tour.
draw.
If he gets Craig Jones in the finals, he's got a nice deck matchup advantage. And even against Olivier, he's in decent shape.
I'm gonna play like his,
I think
his
any
rules
of
are
those
really terrible.
3 players
The
would
only
win.
good one's Curtis, and I usually
Wow.
win 4 games.
Mark Herberholz.
Like I thought the matchup was closer than how it played out. But it all comes down to me winning game 1. I'm pretty sure.
All it comes, if I could,
Huh?
if I,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like I just need to win game 1, and then I have a shot at winning.
it's
the
like
match.
any game that I
Otherwise,
go turn 1 Curdape and turn 2 he's powered up, like I'm a pretty big favorite that game.
Whew. Mark Herberholz 3-1. He's through to the semis. Craig Jones 3-0. He's through to the
Really?
semis. Jones will play the winner of Olivier Ruel and Max Brock. They're still in game 2, whereas Heezy plays the winner of Tiago Chan and Ruud Varmenhoven. They are about to start game 3.
Are you going to root for whichever American passed? So now it's Heezy?
No, I mean, I like both guys. I thought Osip's deck was powerful enough that he could force the late game and draw threats, but, I mean, Gruul did what Gruul was supposed to do, right?
No.
He just came out
What
smashing.
I'm saying is we were rooting for Osip before, but now that Heezy's the American, is that who you think's going to win? I think Heezy has a good chance of winning this one.
I think he's got a good chance of winning. I think I kind of like the Beach House story. You know, it's funny. People have compared the Beach House to the Magic Colony.
It's not the
That's
same
sort of
thing at all.
It's very different, but it's similar in some ways in that you had a group of guys who decided to go somewhere unusual and just spend a month together preparing for the Pro Tour. And last time that happened, one of those guys wound up winning the Pro Tour.
Fair enough.
Ken Ho pulled the trick off in Osaka.
Isn't the story go like Ken Ho didn't actually test at all? He just like made, and then like he hated his still life so much that he stopped siding them in.
Yep. 6 for 6. Yep. Osip?
But you know, top.
Did Tiago win? Okay.
There you get a good look at Olivier Ruel. He is mired in game 2 against Max Brock. I'll keep bringing you updates on that. But Tiago Chan and Ruud Varmenhoven are about to start their 3rd game, and Tiago could clinch that. So we're going to go try to catch coverage of Tiago and Ruud as they start their 3rd game.
Do you ever ask yourself questions like, why do the Ruel brothers never play the same deck?
Well, they had very different testing experiences here for this one.
But they never play the same deck. Like, they played opposite decks in LA. One of them played with 3 Psychotogs, one of them played with 3 Arcbound Ravagers.
It's true. The Olivier Ruel story is a little weird. He actually had visa problems. There's some strange thing going on where, like, the European Union has agreed to certain passport rules that France isn't honoring or something, and so as a result, in order for French citizens with new passports to travel to the United States, they have to get a special visa. And Olivier's passport just expired. So he had to go to Switzerland and get some crazy special visa in order to even be able to come to this Pro Tour.
Good.
I think he thought for a long time he wasn't going to be able to make the trip at all.
Good thing he showed.
Yeah, no. Here he is, last minute, gets the visa. Literally, went to Switzerland Tuesday, managed to pull off the visa, and here he is. And now here he is sitting in the top 8.
I heard Nassif had a similar problem.
I believe he and Gabe were in the same situation. Yeah, they both had the same first Pro Tour. Was that Team Pro Tour in New York? No, that's not right.
No. Olivier was already a standout in teams by the time
Yeah, you're right. I think both their passports expired in that little window where this problem kicked in.
So let's talk about these. Who are we looking at? Ruud versus Thiago. Is Thiago phased out? What happened?
It wasn't guided.
Oh, Thiago went to use the restroom. Sure. Well, while Thiago uses the restroom, I don't mind having a chance to catch my breath, actually. This has been quite a run. Hello, welcome to those of you out there on the internet.
Hello.
This is Mike Flores. I'm Randy Buehler. We are enjoying these quarterfinals. It's Heasy and Craig Jones through. It'd be hilarious to me if this whole Pro Tour comes down to little monsters battling little monsters in the finals.
Gruel.
Could be Gruel versus Zoo.
I mean, Zoo is, they're buddies with Gruel. They're like neighbors. They're like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I'm hanging out the stomping grounds.
Thiago Chan might get through with that owl deck. Olivier Ruel, little white-black aggro. Very aggressive top 8. I find it interesting that there's a bunch of control decks and a bunch of good players who played control decks, whether it's Gifts or Greater Good or any number of the slow decks. But it's the fast decks that actually rose to the top of the Swiss.
The main issue that these control decks have, I think, is the complete inability to stop the opponent from doing what they want to do. Like the black-white long game decks, like they top out on 7s. Their 7's just a glorified Vindicate, or they cast Debtors now, and like if they have a 5/5 flyer or whatever. Like they can't really legitimately stop someone if they don't have a sufficient card advantage.
Do you think it's because they actually can't stop anyone, or is it because they didn't know what the threats were that they were going to have to deal with? Like, I think it could easily be. I forget who wrote the article, but there was a pretty good article I read recently where it was arguing that formats start out fast and aggressive because the aggressive decks are maybe a little easier to build, and then they build up, and then control decks eventually take over the format.
I wrote that article.
Was that your article?
Yeah.
All right, it was a good article. The control decks take over the format eventually because now the control players know what the puzzle is that they have to solve. It's kind of an interesting theory.
I'm not sure what the problem was. It's just, honestly, it seems to me like there's just so many things that can go wrong in a wide format that you're testing against 20 decks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just what you're saying, which is you don't know what to aim at. There's a lot of like really general answers that you can play. Cards like Ivory Mask can counter both Gifts Ungiven and Flames of the Blood Hand to the head.
Right.
Just as an example. But if issues like if your top of your curve is a 7 and you missed your 3rd land drop or you didn't hit your Orzhov Signet, you're gonna die to a giant Solifuge every time. And the aggressive decks are just better than they've been in a long time.
Well, it looks like Thiago Chan is back from the restroom, and they are ready to play. So let's go back down to the game. Ruud Varmenhoven is running off a mulligan in this game. He's on the right of your screen. Portuguese player Thiago Chan is on the left of your screen. Ruud led with an Isamaru. Steam vents for Thiago. So Thiago leads this 2-0. If Ruud wants to go to the semifinals, he's going to have to rattle off 3 straight.
Wow, what a
he
poor
plays
hand.
Castigate. We get to see that Thiago's hand is garbage.
It's poor. Yeah,
Pyroclasm, Remand, and 6 lands.
The a mulligan on the play almost doesn't matter here because Thiago's just going to play a Crescent Moon or a Howling Mine.
I was considering mulligans.
But I mean, I think he's going to take the Pyroclasm.
He probably kept 5 lands, Pyroclasm, Remand.
Right? Mulligans are pretty
on the draw.
I mean, boy, he's not going to keep 1 spell.
No,
those spells aren't even very good. Like, I mean, Pyroclasm obviously it could be very sweeping, but it's conditional based on how Ruud wants to play the game.
Yeah, I figure Pyroclasm is a card to take.
I'm pretty sure
Ruud does take Pyroclasm.
Yeah, seems logical.
5 lands in a row. Go ahead.
3?
What's that?
3 cards?
3 cards, yeah.
I mean, Thiago's going to land push. Ruud will play the Shrieking Grotesque, I believe, get it remanded, and he'll...
Okay.
I mean, unless he doesn't have a 3rd land. Oh, Lion. Oh, if Lion gets remanded, maybe he's
Slow
got
rolling
another
white
one.
mana.
Yeah.
I like the way he's not letting Thiago know whether he can replay.
I've watched a
the
lot of
line or
aggro
not.
players play that way this weekend. It's been really interesting. It's
Aggro
something I
decks in the
noticed.
hands of good players, they're just a lot better. See, he does have the
Yeah.
white mana, so the line does come back down again.
It's like mental game stuff. Like that's exactly the kind of play like what Antoine ran on Kenji in LA, like outthinking the other guy a little bit.
There's a lot of subtleties to playing these decks perfectly. Oh,
Here's the
Howling
mine.
Mine. Thiago has seen 2 new cards. One of them's a Howling Mine. That's exactly what he wanted. Yeah, when I talked to Rude when he was playtesting, he said Howling Mine was by far the critical card in this matchup. He has no ability to remove an artifact. Thiago's deck doesn't work without it, so it's just crucial. If Thiago has to draw Howling Mines to beat him, but if he draws Howling Mines, he's a favorite.
He's gonna play Grotesque here. Probably he's probably gonna do nothing. Let's say it's Ghost Council or something.
Yeah,
No, Grotesque basically does nothing. Discard an island. He's got Miko Koro in his hand. It's just like basically irrelevant. It's like we said before. Howling Mine just counters all of the discard elements of Rude's deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like unless he gets to castigate it or something, which obviously Thiago's hand was. But Thiago suddenly got Pyroclasm. This is going to be a mess. If you're Thiago, do you just Pyroclasm the board here? Yep.
Man.
That little.
Oh, and there's the Pyroclasm. Wow.
3 for 1, Netsuke.
Yeah, you
get
see
that
the
out
power
of
of those Howling Mines.
Get that out of castigate range, and it's almost
Absolutely.
academic now.
Meanwhile, for an update on the match between Olivier Ruel and Max Brox, let's go down to Jonathan Becker. Jonathan, tell us how that second game turned out.
Hey guys, it was actually a really exciting game. It looked like Olivier was going to be able to push enough damage through on Max. He cleared the board twice with Savage Twister to stay alive. He's playing it with an empty hand off the top of his deck with a top. At 5, facing down a Ghost Council, he managed to pull a early harvest into a weird harvest into his combo and win on like the last possible turn off an empty grip and a top for
Just
like 6
living off
turns in
the
a row.
top.
Yeah, it was really incredible. Like he's like living off the top, shuffle, get a shuffle effect, pull something else, retop, grab that one card, replace top. He just like 5-6 turns. He just kept finding answer after answer after answer until he could pull the early harvest he needed to weird harvest into the Maga Trader Mortals thing just to win. It was really exciting and incredible match.
All right, wow. So Max Brock evens it at 1 apiece. Thanks, John.
Sure.
Ooh.
1 game for Max Brock, 1 game for Olivier Ruel. They'll be shuffling up for game 3 now.
Because Rude doesn't have enough cards in hand and,
Dark Confidant?
plenty of life to deal with.
One.
Just runs the
Dark Confidant seems pretty bad in this match.
I agree.
I mean, you don't really need the cards. You don't want to take damage. It seems like just a horrible place to have to play Dark Confidant.
I just want to look at Rude's.
Yeah, what are they still in
list,
this deck doing in his deck in game 3?
I mean,
Does he
he
need a
obviously
2-1
brought in
beater that
Cascade.
bad? 2-1 beater doesn't seem worth it to me.
I mean, Akami Ancient Law, Ukiba Gang Shinobi, even Manriki Gusari doesn't seem like just
yeah.
holy strength.
I mean, Boomerang's annoying against equipment, but
What if he flips over Ghost Council?
right. Yeah, I would definitely be trying to side out Dark Confidant in this matchup.
I'll just stack this first and then this result.
This is draw, that's upkeep.
Oh, is it?
No, maybe you want to stack this one.
No, it doesn't trigger. Sorry.
Yeah. It's upkeep.
Sorry, bro.
Is that
Last gas.
Oh, I guess it kills Crescent
Kills
Moon.
Kami. So 10 to 18. Bob deals 2 to both players this
Look
time.
at how the Howling Mine has improved Thiago's hand. His hand was garbage
Yeah,
at the
now all
beginning
of a sudden
the game.
it's sudden impact, evacuation, eye of nowhere, Boomerang, Kami, the Crescent Moon.
I mean, like, Rude's going to tap a bunch of mana. Thiago probably has enough mana to just make him pick up his board.
I think he's only got 4, so he's got 5. Yeah, he can evacuation end
Pick
step
up his
here.
board, and then...
He took 4 here. I like that play. He's going to evacuation
fine.
end step. He's willing to go to 6 because he knows Rude doesn't have any burn.
Fireball.
It's yet another reason why the Owl matchup against Black-White is much better than the Owl matchup against Zoo. Against the Zoo player, the creatures would be cheaper, and there'd be these direct damage spells coming flying over the top to finish him off. Against Black-White, Thiago can just go to 6 and shrug and trade life points for board advantage. Which is exactly what he's doing here.
Least effective Hand of Cruelty in the room.
That's another card that's done a lot better this weekend than maybe people were realizing. It's quite good in the current metagame.
Another bear.
Plays his second Dark Confidant.
I mean, Thiago maybe tempted
Let
to
him leave him there.
Keep him there.
That's
If he has like 9 or something, no, he's not going to.
No. He also wants to pick up 4 cards.
That's not exciting.
You would just let him go and see if Bobby kills him 2 flips?
Oh, no. I mean, like, I'm just saying just for fan value. Like,
Oh, no land for Tiago. That's annoying for him. I'm sure he would like to play land number 7.
Can he lose?
I like his chances.
He could just make Rude pick up some lands and then sudden impact him. It wouldn't be that.
Well, I mean, you just say go, Howling Mine, maybe an inset boomerang, sudden impact, something like that.
I mean, he might have an excessive 7 right here.
Yeah, I guess so. He's going to make him pick up a land.
He has like a Basilica or something, or yeah, he has a Ravnica duel. It is a Godless Shrine, I believe.
Wow, all of a sudden.
14.
Yeah.
Draw 1.
Draw.
You back me?
Yeah.
And there's sudden impact.
Take that.
4-10.
Is it 10?
Yeah, he's at 4 now. This game's basically over. Oh, Rude has no cranial extractions.
I'm probably
The
dead,
cheeky
right?
god of the surfboards. Look on
Yeah, I didn't
as
play
these
the land
players
after,
fight
so
for their
it's
berths
not
in the Pro
actually
Tour
close.
semifinals.
Yeah, I was completely wrong in this matchup. Rude looks like he has no chance. And then Itsuki's just going to kill him.
Rude says, I'm probably dead, right? Tiago says, yeah. And Rude's going to dump what cards he can, but he's going to have a full hand. Tiago's just going to untap and sudden impact, and sure looks like Tiago Chan is going to go through to the semis in a sweep. Yeah, there is the handshake. So Tiago Chan defeats Rude Varmenhoven.
Like the thing is, the confidence are fine actually. Like
I think I won the first game only because of the
Interesting
confidence.
to talk to these guys.
think so?
Yeah,
Well, well, the
gives you
first
some
game
of these guys
after
talk.
boarding is quite different.
what?
Yeah.
Feathers, Feathers, confidence at 7 alliance, so it was 7, plus 3 cards, plus 3 damage for sudden impact. So it did give you plus 10 damage.
These guys are such
Confidence.
gamers. Like the
Yeah,
match
but
is
you
over,
weren't
but
like that,
there's still a
you know,
puzzle
you
to
were
solve.
still at 11.
Oh, I love talking
The
about
thing
matches
is, like,
after I've
I don't
lost.
have any good true
I do
drops,
too.
like,
I mean, I think-
Rasmus Rats are, like,
But how do you get any
worse.
better if you don't
They
talk
do
about matches
anything.
when you lose?
I completely agree.
I mean, like when you win, like
When I was playing against
you could do
Queen
20
Bee,
things
well,
wrong
match
and
was a
win,
nightmare.
but like none of them mattered.
I
You
think
don't
like
get any
the
better
draw-
when you
like
win.
the first game looked really good, and then like I think then you just impacted me out of the game. And the second game it looked really good as well, and then you like drew out of that as well. And like the third game, I don't know. Like, I thought it was fun. Like, I guess I didn't hit that many castigates.
Yeah, well, you had 3 in the second game. Yesterday you told me your best chance was to, when you go first after sideboard, you castigate and remove Hauling Mine. It's really, really hard for me to win.
Yeah, I know. Like, cause like I can kill the kamis and stuff. Like I don't know. Like, why do I
And
want?
when we were waiting for dinner, I was playing with your deck against this, and I played castigate and didn't remove the Hauling Mine. And he won, and I said, okay, now I learned something.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
kind of
interesting.
weird. Like,
Tiago playing Rude's deck
like, I
against
think-
his own build.
like I need to draw
I
the
like
right
that.
cards.
I
in
like
the right
testing both sides of the
situation as
matchup.
well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, if
You
you
learn a
get
lot.
Zvi taught me
two
that.
pyro class, I'm like at the right time. Like, these are huge in the matchup.
So you
Like,
can't
need
really
one of these
understand
early
how
on,
matchups work unless you can play both
Like,
sides.
pyro
Completely agree.
frost or something.
But
I was
otherwise, like
hoping it
if
would
your
both
opponent's,
be
I'm sorry, if your like
points,
plays opponent is just a buffoon,
They're
like
crap.
you could just be winning like against a fish, and
Mm.
then when you actually
Well,
have to go to a
then,
tournament
like,
and somebody does the
we
correct
figured
play,
before
and you're like,
that,
oh, but in
so-
testing, I always won this
So
match.
that's why
Right.
like a lot of the games we played turned out longer, and like confidence was really good in there.
Threads are really good against any creature based
So,
decks like yours and Zoo
looks like
and
we're-
Red Wing, but
Alright.
not for this deck. I don't want your creatures.
Yeah, that's one. Like, and I have like Otherworldly Journey and Kami of Ancient Law and Mortify and.
All right, well, Tiago Chan with a 3-0 sweep over Rude Varmenhoven. We are going to move our cameras back to the match between Olivier Ruel and Max Brock. That's the last one going in these quarterfinals.
So
Last
Max's
one before the lunch break.
Max's deck is super interesting.
Yeah.
I thought if Osip didn't have the best sideboard in the top 8, Max did.
Okay.
His plan is so elegant. He has
It's a
like,
Heartbeat of Spring deck, right?
but he not after board necessarily. He's got Kudzus, Iwamori of the Open Fist, aka the worst hunted Wumpus in the room, and Maloku,
Kega.
like he can just go critical mass.
He can just
against-
turn himself into a creature deck. Yeah, it's exactly right. I saw him do that with top 8 on the line. He turned himself into a creature deck, and that's how he made this top 8. And that's the plan he seems to have gone with here in Game 3 against Olivier Ruel. He's got Vine Lasher Kudzu in play. It's got a number of counters on it. 3 counters. Olivier has Ghost Council, Orzhov Scion, and a token.
If Bract is a creature deck and he's facing off against the Mafia Kings on the other side, like he's got to be at a disadvantage, right?
I would think so.
Like the
Teysa and Ghost Council are butts.
Yeah,
those guys
Olivier
get along very well.
Was able to beat Osip in one of their 3 games in the
just on the strength of that combo?
Just because he got the Mafia Kings out. Like it was
Orzhov Syndicate.
It's like impossible to get through.
Our legends don't cost 7. Is that their slogan?
Yeah, that's what Aaron Forth was saying. Our guild leaders don't cost 7, is I think what he said. And like first of all, a 4/4 for 4 is highly respectable.
Absolutely.
But it's almost like I've been saying, it's almost a green card. Anyway, point being, I really love Brack's sideboard. He has Muddle the Mixture, which allows him to defend his combo against blue decks, but he can just go grab Pyroclasm, Savage Twister, or Umezawa's Jitte.
Yep.
The ability to get Jitte is just profound. Forsyth said he saw him play a match where he was like 6-turn Kega, untap 7th mana, Muddle the Mixture for Jitte, 4 mana, equip the Jitte, and it was just like the best block deck. That Vine Lasher Kudzu looks enormous. It's like a 6/6 or something. I mean, but actually, Vine Lasher Kudzu just can't possibly win in this matchup. He's got with the Mafia Kings in play, he can just remove it at any time. But I think that Olivier's probably got to be semi-cognizant of his life total due to the presence of all the direct damage in Brack's deck. Invoke the Firemind or Maga Trader to Mortals.
Yeah, so one. No effect. 6/6. Yep.
6 puts Olivier down to 9. Do you think that Brack leaves in any of his direct when he's on the man plan?
49.
I have no idea.
Yep.
How much do we know about Max Brock?
Never heard of him before this weekend.
He played a couple Pro Tours. German player. There's a number of German players near the top of the Swiss.
5th Pro Tour.
5th Pro Tour. He was playing against another fellow German in the last round.
Savage Twister.
Oh,
Brack's got the biggest man in play.
Wow. Kudzu survived both. So Olivier tapped out with Ghost Council and playing, got it Savage Twistered away.
Olivier's gonna kill that Kudzu. I don't think that Kudzu's long for this world. Brack actually sided out his Maga this game, I think.
Interesting.
So, I think Olivier's probably going to let Brack put a little bit more investment into that Vine Lasher Kudzu and then remove it from play.
What do you think about taping out with Ghost Council there? Ghost Council in play.
I think that Olivier probably didn't think that there was a lot of downside to it. But in general, it's just bad policy. I think
he knows there's Savage Twisters on the other sideboard.
Yeah, but I don't know if he knew that he was going to have Savage Twisters in the same games that he had all his creatures.
I think I agree with that.
I mean, that's a big double there, isn't it?
It seems a little odd to have both Savage Twister and creatures in, but
okay,
clearly helped.
Can it haunt the new one? Can it haunt the new token?
Yep.
Olivier played a new guild pack card called Seize the Soul.
They all fly.
This is a card that is actually fantastic against the red-green decks because it's good against Moloku, it's good against red-green decks. Basically, what you do is you kill their best guy, you can put a token into play, and actually eliminate multiple guys and actually profit. So, for example, some things that came up, say the opponent's coming in with Rumbling Slum, a 2/1 and a 3/4. You can kill the Rumbling Slum, make a 1/1 creature, haunt your own 1/1 creature, block the 2/1, kill the 2/1, take 3, and kill the 3/4, leaving yourself with a 1/1. It's like one of the best cards against red-green. He just aimed it at at the giant kudzu, and as you can see, despite being on the wrong end of Savage Twister, Olivier has a decided board advantage. Although Brack leads the life and probably has more. Does he have more cards in hand as well, or no? Wow, Brack's hand is fantastic. Umezawa's Jitte, Recollect, and Invoke the Fireman, and he just leveraged that Invoke the Fireman into another card.
Go.
So he's probably just going to Recollect one of his monsters and then play Umezawa's Jitte. Would you think that's probably what's going to happen?
9.
Sounds reasonable.
Danger Zone is if Olivier can either has another removal spell, which I believe he has in Mortify, and/or the Haunted token from Seize the Soul. Ooh, fantastic Shrieking Gargoyle here.
Take a look in response.
Max is going to look at the top of his deck as
And
response.
garbage
It's
is
funny.
on top.
Does that mean you flip top and discard a garbage card?
I wouldn't. There's no. He probably if he has a land in his hand, then no, because there's then all.
I thought all his land was all gas.
No. He cast Invoke the Firemind.
Right?
So,
Yeah, he flips top to get a bad card into his hand that he can discard to the Shrieking Grotesque. Every card he drew off Invoke the Firemind was good.
oh, okay. Then you're right. I'm sorry.
Reads off the top.
What giants does he have?
Well, he's got Muddle the Mixture, Jitte,
No, in
Recollect.
his bin. Does he only have Vinelasher Kudzu?
There's probably a bunch of good stuff in his deck then.
Yep.
So he replays the top. That was an expert play then. What is he? But he's not staring down lethal or anything, so he's not under any pressure.
I mean, it's lethal in 2 turns. There's 5 on the other side of the board coming across. He's at 9
He can just muddle for Pyroclasm.
for Savage Twister.
No. His Pyroclasm in his deck as well.
Really?
Okay, his sideboard at least, yeah. Fine, he can muddle for Savage Twister then. And twist for 1. Which also blows the Haunt on the Seize the Soul.
Yep. May as well reshuffle, right? Looks at top. He's going to get to reshuffle here. This is how many of the decks this weekend were really abusing Sensei's Divining Top? I didn't see a whole lot of this, top reshuffle, top reshuffle.
Certainly the decks at the top weren't.
No, it was all aggro decks at the top. So
Pyroclasm.
Nice.
I mean, this deck, it's like Transmute is just a whole bunch more top reshufflers.
And doesn't Olivier get 1 guy from the Haunt?
The Haunt is
is it targeted so it fizzles the
Yeah, it fizzles.
secondary ability?
Yep.
That's absolutely fantastic for Brack then.
3.
Yeah, Max Brack seems to know what his deck is trying to do. It seems to have a lot of flexibility, and I'm not sure his opponents know how to fight.
Clouded Mirror and Iwamori, is that? Oh, wow. Olivier's going to lose this game. Almost nothing he can do.
Seems like Max has been playing this deck long enough. He's very comfortable with it. He understands how to play it. He likes it. He's kind of a combo deck guy.
I think there's almost no danger to just dumping Iwamori in play here.
Do you go Maloku and Iwamori? Well, he
He
taps
doesn't have enough mana for both.
No. Yeah, Maloku seems better.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's no danger to it. In response, Amortify. Yeah.
Stop killing my lovely creatures. Well, 1 token I get anyway, so
No, he doesn't have that token
2 on
yet.
that.
No, it's on the stack. I mean, it's inevitable
Making
Mm-hmm.
another 2 tokens.
Okay. So he's going to wind up with 3 illusion tokens.
though. Any one of
Play
those
a land.
illusion tokens is more than a match for Robert
Well, I
Walker
take-
Jr.
Done.
Go. Do you think Olivier has his Orzhov Pontiffs in there?
Dark Confidant flips a Plains.
Those spells on the.
Orzhov Pontiff's a nice card. Olivier's
He
had some
plays the
success with that
Plains.
card. I don't know if he brings it in, though. Like,
What do I need to play?
Did
how
he
does he
expect
know
this?
what Max Brack is going to play? Like, he
mean,
can
it-
show up.
Probably.
It must be really bizarre to sideboard against this guy. Even with the deck list public, he could be playing a
It's
combo
almost
deck.
worse.
He could be playing a big creature deck. Yeah, it might be worse. Like, you know that you don't know. It's even worse than just not knowing.
Maybe he's just assuming that he has such a deck advantage when Brack is on the combo plan that Brack
Just
has to
assumes his
be.
creatures.
Yeah. I mean, but Brack's just going to Jitte up one of these guys and it's going to be over. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, Olivier knows it. Scoops him up. That Umezawa Jite spells game over and spells game 2 for Max Brocht.
If Olivier doesn't have his jittes in, he might have to put them in. It was a rare mistake by Olivier Rouault costing that match. I mean, he had such a decided advantage with the Mafia Kings, and then
Tapping out
he
with Ghost
tapped
Council.
out. Like, it was his own fault.
Tapping out with Ghost Council is not recommended.
If he had retained Ghost Council with the number of tokens he had, I can't imagine him losing. He just removed. He had cast to Seize the Soul and to Mortify. Brecht would not have been able to block. He ended the game on 9 life. 2 connections with Ghost Council and 3-4 tokens he had over the course of the rest of that game would have been more than enough to win, regardless of the fact that Brecht had drawn extra cards with Invoke the Firemind, had a Recollect. That was a mistake by Olivier that cost him that game, no doubt.
It sounds right. I mean, it was a mistake by Olivier, but it was a mistake caused by Max Brocht. I mean, you got to give Max credit for having the crazy deck with the sideboard plan that can morph into this deck or that deck, and Olivier just wasn't sure what was going on.
Olivier, I agree with you from one standpoint. The other, he still tapped out with Ghost Council in play. He knows not to do it now, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm impressed by Max Brocht.
Like I said, he might have the best sideboard in the top 8, if not the tournament. I think one of the things that, I know the Japanese didn't actually prepare for this event, according to Mori, but one of the things that Americans have been terrified of is that the Japanese have our 2 best decks, and they make it into one deck.
Right.
And then Mori actually revealed in an interview with BDM like 2 weeks ago that they do it on purpose. They're like, we have. Just look at their decks from Worlds, for example. They had the Ghazi Glare, and that's your sideboard. They're like kind of like a janky version of Karsten's deck.
Or
like
greater good deck.
They're like, I'll run these cards. No reason to set them up. Like, just Mize. And so like that's what they're doing. And Brocht has like kind of the same idea. It's like, I'm a combo deck, and you bring in all your enchantment removal or whatever, and I just bash you with my Blastoderms.
Right.
He's got 5 5s for 4. In a deck with all of his library shuffling, like Sakura Tribe Elder and Kodama's Reach, Vine Lasher Kudzu is really dangerous.
I hadn't realized quite how good this deck was at abusing Sensei's Divining Top either.
No, it's superb.
Divining Top
it's even
with
better
Transmute.
It's even better than the block decks because it has
exactly.
In addition to 8 shuffles, it has.
He's got the Sakura Tribe Elders. He's got the he's got good up to 4 Kodama's Reach, but that's not. I mean, that's half of the.
No, but he's even just got like random card drawing, like Compulsive Research, Invoke the Firemind.
Right.
Just drawing an extra card makes Top better.
Yeah, but Muddle the Mixture is spectacular with Top, and Muddle's good in this combo deck.
Muddle the Mixture is spectacular.
Drift of Phantasm is spectacular with Top and spectacular with the combo deck that he's put together. And then he can Weird Harvest for them. Thank you to the viewer. I'm sure Max sends out his thanks to the viewers of MagicAcademy.com who voted Weird Harvest in to 9th edition, defeating Animal Magnetism.
Now, for those of you at home who don't know how this works, Weird Harvest is so good in this deck, even when he's not on the man plan.
Right.
He just Weird Harvests for
tutors.
He Weird Harvests for all of his Drift of Phantasms and his Maga when he has a ton of mana.
Right.
And then each Drift of Phantasms in turn becomes either Heartbeat of Spring or an Early Harvest.
Right.
And the opponent, he can draw all he wants, and the Brecht probably doesn't care. It's like, yeah, whatever, draw your card. You're not getting another turn.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So.
And he's only got the one Weird Harvest, but he can tutor it up.
So I think
it's funny. I heard you arguing earlier that you can tell when whether somebody's got a deck list that they really understand because it's got 4 ofs and 1 ofs in
decks
it, right?
that have 4 ofs and 1 ofs are well tuned. Decks
right, and that's what this deck is all 4s and 1s. It's like the land is 10-10-1-1, and then it's 4-4-1, 4-4-4-1, 4-4-4, 1-1-1-1. It's like he's got the 1 ofs to tutor up. He knows which are the good cards. He's got 4 of them.
I could tell the black-white deck we were testing was bad because I had 2 Persecutes and 2.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It just meant the deck was bad.
It means you didn't know which were the good cards.
Like and then like we just missed Dimir House Guard.
Right.
Like if you play Dimir House Guard, then you don't really have to make that decision.
Right. Suddenly you can have one Persecute, one Ivory Mask.
One Ivory Mask.
Yeah.
One, you can play Loxodon Hierarch.
Right. And tutor it up when it's relevant, not get stuck with it in your draw when it's not. Meanwhile,
and split card out the 2/3 Fear.
Yeah, occasionally 2/3 is going to come back off Debtor's Knell and just start attacking.
Well, it's highly relevant in some of the versions because they had Ink Eyes.
Sure.
So like 2/3 Fear, connect, no, before damage. Here comes a 5.
How would you sideboard if you're Olivier Ruel? What does he do?
Ollie has to just go complete balls out, I think. He has to put in his removals that can kill anything, and not have his removals that are like Tarashi's Grasp, for example. Tarashi's Grasp can't kill anything. He has to have his cards like Mortify. He has to have. I just think he has to go proactive. I don't think that Brax can afford to be a combo deck, even if Ollie is on a less, let's say, focused version of his deck, because he has a highly disruptive deck. As we said earlier, Max doesn't have legitimate card drawing spells. He has selection, he has shuffling, he has top, he has like one compulsive research, and the Weird Harvest. I don't think that you can put that in the same category as a deck that can recover from disruption via, say, Factor Fiction. I think that Mortify is going to be the all-star. It's either going to kill Iwamori or it's going to kill Heartbeat of Spring, and he's just going to have to try to connect. Luckily for Ollie, he's on the play this game. He's got Plague Rusalka. Interesting choice.
I'm not such a top player like you.
And I believe that Brax had top on the first turn 2 games, won those 2 games, didn't have it on first turn 1 game, did not win that game.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, his deck is, even when he's on the man play,
his draw looks decent, but would you mulligan a non-top draw? Now he gets castigated,
I mean, when I think I was probably going to take the remand rather than the Muddle the Mixture. I'm just like, there's 2 remands.
Oh, well.
In that case, he's probably going to take the Muddle the Mixture. Is there there's also
a Kadamas Reach.
Kadamas Reach. Oh, he's on that choices. I think he's going to take the Muddle. What do you think?
I believe I would take the Muddle.
Because if there's only one remand, I think you take the remand. But
it's a pretty good pen spin he's got going on.
I mean, he's obviously trying to subtly direct how Ollie's thinking. See how he's like pointing to like Kodama's Reach, which is the least relevant card. He's like, please take Kodama's Reach. Ollie's taking a long time on this decision. I think he's going to take the Muddle. As cool as Brax deck is, I really think that Ollie's deck is like one of the coolest versions of Black-White Beatdown.
He takes Muddle.
In the feature match area, he swings with Paladin Anvek, first strikes, and then flips in Okiba Gang Shinobi.
That was awesome.
It's like, take 5, 2 cards.
That was awesome.
It was like the awesomest. If he had won that game, it would have been even awesome. So Ollie's hand is Ravenous Rats, Relevant, Phyrexian Arena,
There's
Land.
Rats.
Again, here's another remand.
Rats gets remanded.
Predictable. Ooh. What do you aim with? Aim Cranial Extraction at?
Wow.
Do you think that he removed the Muddle the Mixture just so that he could resolve Cranial Extraction eventually? Brack taps here.
Yeah, goes for his Kodama's Reach.
Basically, that means Ollie can resolve Phyrexian Arena unconditionally. He would have had a lot. Or, let's see. If he draws a land, he can tap for Ghost Council. And I don't think Brax will have enough mana to get rid of it with Savage Twister. I don't think if he draws a land that he's going to go for Cranial Extraction. He wants to pressure the board. What do you think, Randy?
Does he have a 4th land in this hand?
I don't think he has one right now, but he might draw one.
Yeah. I predict Ravenous Rat and a Slump.
No, if he doesn't make his land drop, he's definitely playing Phyrexian Arena.
He didn't play Phyrexian Arena last turn. He played Ravenous Rat instead. Yep. He didn't want to get it remanded.
He didn't want to get it remanded.
Sure. So with no mana available for remanding, Arena hits the table, and now Olivier will be drawing 2 a turn. There's Jitte in Max Brax's hand.
One thing I want to point out is my favorite new class of cards is the ones that keep counters off the Jitte.
Sure.
Plague Rusalka is good if for no other reason the opponent doesn't get Jitte counters ever, as long as you have black mana.
Yeah, that's a sort of secret hidden side of the Jitte battles. A lot of people get frustrated playing Jitte versus Jitte, but the really good players can sometimes beat a Jitte by just managing the counters. I think one of the highest,
the most skill-testing things you can do as a designer is to build a Jitte deck that can beat other Jitte decks consistently. In this format, it was less relevant because the beatdown deck selected not to play Jitte. I think Ollie's either pretending he doesn't have a fourth land, drawing up the remand with the Ravenous Rat, or he's just really going to be sad.
Go.
Draw
no
2,
fourth
no
land.
land. Oh, Brack could be going to.
His draw's been mediocre. No divining top. He's just not been able to get much going this game. Yet somehow he's still in it. He's got 17 points of life to play with. He's going to be up to 6 land in play this turn. He's got a Jitte.
He's going to keep
Lasher Kudzu?
Yeah, is he going to keep his composure here? Like, you'd be very tempted to try to take out the Vine Lasher Kudzu with Plague Rusalka.
There's no Jitte in play. I
Yeah,
think
but
the play.
that's why.
Max could make a really nice play here. He plays Vine Lasher Kudzu. Actually,
he
plays a land.
It's complicated by the presence of Sakura Tribelder.
Oh, wow. So we can't kill it with Rusaka.
See, now he's
goes on the
stacking
stack.
the trigger.
Now, if Olivier uses his Rusalka, then Max can just sack Sakura Tribelder, go get another land, and have the Kudzu survive Rusalka. Olivier saw it all coming. He has no good answer, so he has to let the counter resolve. And now, down comes Umezawa's pointy stick.
And it's going on to Sakura Tribelder.
Wow.
What a bad position for Olivier to be in. Obviously, the player's obvious, but...
Yeah, doesn't want to let Rusaka block Kudzu.
Look.
Isn't going to get any counters anyway because of the Rusaka.
Horrendous.
Sure.
So explain why no counters go on the Jitte.
Okay, for the Jitte to receive counters, damage actually has to be dealt. What Olivier did was he just stacked damage to put lethal on the Sakura Tribelder, removed the Plague Rusalka from play so that there was no damage actually being dealt. And in any case, neither creature was there at the end of combat because Max also sacrificed the Sakura Tribelder to draw a card and put additional counter on the Kudzu.
So anytime you block a Jitte creature and then get your creature out of combat before damage resolves, no counters go on the Jitte.
It doesn't look like Ollie drew a land again.
Crazy. Nope. No. Just mortifies the Kudzu.
Sneaks
Still no
the
fourth
mortify
land.
under potential muddle the mixture.
And Bracht is up 2-1 here, right? So
Ollie's hand is great. I think he can come back. There's no pressure from Max's side.
He is drawing 2 cards a turn. It seems like he should be able to come back, but at the same time, he's being destroyed on mana.
If Bracht rips a Sensei's Divining Top, though...
If Recollect gets the Kudzu back...
Kudzu will immediately be 2-2. And
deploy it'll be 2-2 wearing a Jitte.
I mean, I can't imagine Ollie doesn't have some kind of response for this, though. He's drawing 2 cards a turn.
Absolutely.
Nope.
17.
Card.
17 all. Ollie with a handful of... finally draws a land.
Yep. Draws 2 land. What is that? Confidant, Rat, Cranial Extraction. He drew land Castigate. Does he have an answer in there? I see Distress. I don't see an answer for the creature. Ghost Council.
Sure. I mean, if he draws land Ghost Council...
I mean, he can play land Ghost Council, tapping out for it, which you told him never to do again.
No, he's not going to do that. I think he's going to go Castigate Rat, actually. There's no counter on the Jitte right now.
True.
This is really... It's bad, but not lethal for it. Yeah, his play's Castigate Rat, almost certainly. Or it might be Castigate Bobby, depending on what's in Max's hand.
Now, would you Castigate before or after?
Oh, you definitely Castigate before. If he rats first, what if his hand was land spell? And for some reason discarded spell.
Yep.
Then the Cascade would whiff. I mean, in this case, it was going to whiff anyway. I was going to play rat here. Just take on.
So Max has no spells in hand, just land. Does have a 2/2 Kudzu wearing a Jitte, but no counters on the Jitte yet. Ollie's got Phyrexian Arena and a bunch of life to play with, but if he lets that Jitte get out of control, he's going to get eliminated from this tournament.
Interesting. So what do you think is going to happen here?
He wants to be able to deal lethal to the Kudzu. Well, no, but he knows he can't because it goes to 3/3.
Yeah, it goes to 3/3. Is he going to block here?
I don't.
He's not because of the...
Well, but if he doesn't block, it's just going to die. I think he just blocks.
No.
Huh.
He's bleeding a Jitte counter?
Traded Dark Confidant for a Jitte counter?
Maybe he's banking on. No, I think maybe he's banking on Max letting him go to.
He's got plenty of cards. It's not reasonable to spend 2 mana.
But he's been cold for land for like 2 or 3 turns, even drawing 2. It doesn't look like he drew one again. If Ollie has a removal spell, maybe he just passes and waits to see if Brax will remove counters from the Jitte.
I think I would have tapped out for Ghost Council last turn, honestly. I didn't like that Castigate play. I think I would just... He's got a second Ghost Council in his hand,
exactly.
and
with the expectation of drawing
4/4
a land
can kill the
next
Kudzu. I would have just... And now he has to... Turns out he taps out for it anyway. But now, does he even kill Kudzu this turn?
I mean, Kudzu's
no.
potential
Max plays a land.
7/7?
Yeah. I think he was supposed to
It's
tap
3/3 now,
out...
4, 6/6, I think.
I think he was supposed to tap out for Ghost Council last turn. It's hilarious. I think last game he lost because he tapped out for Ghost Council, and this game he may lose because he didn't.
Oh, well. Muddle the Mixture was just drawn.
Oh. What do you get? Weird Harvest?
No. Weird Harvest gives Ollie cards, too.
Ollie has a handful of cards. What do you get, then?
I would get...
I mean, he's allowed... He gets the Weird Harvest for, like, 5 or 6 weeks.
He can go land, pump his guy, twist, smash. Once the counters are on that... The thing is, right now, Ollie has options, okay? He will not block that Vine Lasher Kudzu. There's not going to be enough counters on the Jitte to remove Ghost Council, and Ghost Council will be able to rule the board soon. If he has enough mana, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think he's going to go for Twister and twist the board. He'll twist for 4, make his guy 6.
Mm-hmm.
Twist for 4, connect.
Interesting. Block.
He's obviously not going to block.
So on 10, you're on 16.
Olivier down to 10.
Go. Oh, you know what? Brack might be super
go?
clever. Yeah, like I think he might just be setting him up so that he can twist next turn for a lethal.
Huh. 16 to 9. What does Olivier need to do? Draw Jitte would help.
He needs to eliminate Jitte.
Oof.
Ugh.
Distress. Well solved, Olivier Ruel.
If Olivier has a land...
If Olivier can then kill the Kudzu, then all of a sudden... Okay, yeah, use his muddle as a counter.
Wow.
But whatever. That was the only relevant spell.
Pass. Pass.
Why pass? Slay? Oh my goodness! He's got Slay for the Vine Lasher Kudzu. That's a pretty good answer. Draws another card. Phyrexian Arena finally delivered up. It's a good
4.
Ghost Council smashes for 4.
And
Max Brack has nothing. He's
stuck with no Sensei's Divining Top.
Right. No Jitte. He's just got a bunch of land, 1 land in his hand.
7.
He needs to top deck. Can he top deck his way out of this?
A forest.
Top
no.
deck's a forest.
Olivier Ruel, nice rip. Oh, and the council. Oh, when the council comes online,
go.
An online Ghost Council will trump a Jitte.
Olivier falls to 8 from the arena.
But when the council comes online, his life total is going to be much less relevant.
8 to 8.
Olivier can kind of, I mean, he can still lose to
Ravenous Rat. That gets the last land out of Max's hand.
Top deck Maloku is going to put Max in a commanding position, though. There's lots of cards that.
He's got like 1 turn though to do it. Olivier's got 5 power. Max needs to draw something. This maybe has 2 draws left. Would you tap out the Cranial Attraction here?
There's only 2 cards in Max's deck that matter anymore.
To Maloku?
Oh no, he could rip Savage Twister actually.
Shrieking Grotesque. Oh, so that's lethal. This draw. It's got to be this draw. What did Max draw?
It's not lethal. He could just take out the guys with the Jitte counters.
Good point.
He's almost going to have to.
Yeah, he absolutely has to because he can flip Ghost Council for the 8th point. 7 power. One Ghost Council flip is 8.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the cranial extraction play is possibly right. That was a great sleigh.
Boomerang off
Boom,
the top
boom.
of Max's deck. Do you flip it?
Yeah, you definitely, I think you sack a rat.
Yeah, I like sack rat.
The X1s have no equity to the board right now. Like,
Yeah.
there's, who cares?
Yeah, in fact, I think Max maybe should have killed him beforehand, before this play.
Yeah, it's like 2 will come in, Max might kill it, might not.
I think I would have used the Jitte counter to
look
delay,
what
to deny that option.
Ollie just drew.
Oh.
Okay. All right, he has to connect with Shrieking Ghost Husk first because he might get 2 points in for free.
Right.
That thing is definitely not going to be alive after he plays Jitte. Yep, Max is smart enough. He's going to gain 4 here, but there's almost no cards he can draw to get out of him.
Moloku.
Just Moloku.
Because Olivier Ruel drew and now plays. Wait for it. And he drew an Umezawa Jitte of his own this turn.
And he can play a 2-drop with cover mana to protect his council still. So he just, as long as he doesn't tap out for cranial extraction, he's not going to lose to Savage Twister.
Okay.
So Max goes to 12.
12-7.
This was a really swingy game, it looks like.
Yep. It's kind of nice to see card advantage still matters. You know, all the weirdness is going on in the world, but you know what? You play at Phyrexian Arena on 20, even if your draw's not got land and your opponent is doing stuff, you still win that game.
One of the
eventually.
least relevant Ravenous Rats ever played.
It's Ghost Council food.
Yeah, it's all that matters. Right? Notice how Ollie was too
Max
good to
needs
play
to draw
2-1s.
Moloku. I didn't see what that was.
I mean, like other Tide Star's probably close to good enough. It's not great, but it's close. Iwamori, for example, is not going to be good enough here.
No.
The Iwamori doesn't even penetrate. Muddle the Mixture.
Ooh. Becker says he drew Muddle the Mixture. So you transmute it for Weird Harvest?
For Weird Harvest, and then Harvest for
Moloku.
Giving Ollie the chance to harvest for...
I think he can harvest for 1 and still cast Moloku.
Yeah, and Ollie harvests for Teysa. And then the Mafia Kings win the game. Like, I think Weird Harvest is a very dangerous play. I think Savage Twister's a much cleaner play.
But these just flips out his Ghost Council.
He's not dead. I mean,
he's just buying turns to top deck Moloku?
He can't wait on the card because if Ollie's obviously willing to just throw Ravenous Rats with no card advantage out, he can't imagine that his Muddle the Mixture is going to survive.
Well, if you're just trying to buy a turn, why waste your Savage Twister when Sakura Tribe Elder will get the same job done? And get you a land within your deck by a land.
Interesting decision.
I mean, it's kind of depressing for Max Brack. The best thing he can tutor up is a Sakura Tribe Elder. But it might be the right play.
I'm figuring he's taking a point from Ravenous Rats this turn.
So then
Ollie gives him a point back. Mortify. I think that Ollie will probably use his Cranial Extraction this turn. I think he has to
Max
actually
also has Invoke the Firemind.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I think he's more dangerous to Invoke the Firemind because Ollie just drew Mortify. So
Mortify doesn't exactly answer Moloku when you've got that much land in play. I still think you might be right. What is it? It's one Invoke the Firemind versus 2 Molokus. Those are the outs in Max's deck.
Yeah, if Max rips Invoke the Firemind, Ollie's dead.
Right.
It's
Moloku, at least you have a turn to answer, hypothetically.
It depends. It depends what Max does here. I think likely he's going to put his Sakura Tribe Elder in front of the Ravenous Rats to trade. What do you think? Take 4? Do you think it's better to just take 1 and just jump into the Ghost Council? What are the incentives, basically?
I think you're just trying to buy as many turns as possible.
So then you chump the Ghost Council.
Chump Ghost Council. I think that's more likely to get you an extra turn than trading with Ravenous Rats.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ollie is going to use this Cranial Extraction. He doesn't want to play Maher. Actually, he could play Maher and just buy life. But, there's no reason to get fancy. He's so low. Actually, and I just noticed he has Shizo Death Storehouse. So he
Is it worth mana to make Ghost Council unblockable?
I mean, if he has 7 or more mana, I think it's worth it if he doesn't attack with Ravenous Rats. Because he can't really afford to do that and and lose Ravenous Rats potentially.
I can't imagine that's better than playing a 2-1.
Yeah.
I think that he should just cast Cranial Extraction here.
Well, yeah.
The number of ways he can lose the game are pretty limited, and ripping Invoke the Firemind is pretty high on the list. Like, obviously Moloku's an issue, but at least he has Mortify.
Quite nice direction here. Oh, Drift of Phantasm.
Okay. Drift of Phantasm.
Wow. Why get the 1 invoke?
You won't.
Is that...
No.
No.
Well, how much mana?
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Drift Invoke, I was dead.
12 less
Could have gotten
3,
invoked.
9.
Interesting.
6, yeah.
Olivier whiffed on Cranial Extraction. He figured if he got Drift of Phantasm, then that invoke became a 1-of. Max has the drifts in his sideboard.
But actually, that doesn't make any sense. The only card that he can drift for that matters is Invoke the Firemind.
I think I agree with you.
It's not.
Yeah, if you extract the invoke, then who cares about drift?
Yeah, he could just dodge past with the Ghost Council.
Confident.
Interesting. So Olivier whiffs yet again. Max Brax's amazing flexibility benefits him.
What do you think
His
the
opponent
chances
did
are
not
that,
understand what was going on, and
what do you think the chances are that Robert Maher makes it to Olivier's upkeep?
small.
I think they're
Four.
nil.
I believe you're actually at 10 now. You took 1 damage
Yeah.
from the Ravenous Rats.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just a clear mistake to not go for Invoke. Would he rip?
Can't tell. His wrist is in the way.
Nope.
Oh, it's an island, and he just plays it.
Ollie, get rid of Bob Maher.
Keep him at 6.
What? There are no 6 drops, right?
Yeah, but it's not lethal.
So what's the conflict?
Oh, yeah. So the first one.
This card is
Yeah,
really
everyone's
good
sorry.
then. Yeah, you first.
Yeah. What? Okay, I'm sorry.
Swamp.
So. Oh,
You can
they go on the
stack
stack, but I announced one life. So.
You announced this one first, so.
Anyway, I kill you. I'll kill you in the attack. Phew, but it's set.
Okay, we announced the arena.
He announced this first and this.
This will resolve
And this first.
Okay, so I take
Then you
4.
take 4.
One's upkeep, one's
Yep.
draw, though, right?
Take 4 minutes.
No, Bob's upkeep.
Yeah, isn't arena a
Okay,
draw?
I
No,
take
it's up to you.
7.
Oh, it's upkeep.
Oh, did I draw for my draw?
Regular turn to draw.
No, I didn't draw for my draw again, right?
Regular draw.
Oh, that's not the draw.
This new philosophy with the no table judges is made top 8 play so much cleaner than it.
It has, actually.
Black. Only conceal. Black, white. White, white.
So he attacked for 7.
Black, black. You're at 2.
Hilarious. He plays a second Ghost Council. They both come back. They implode, but they deal the last 2 points of damage. And we are going to game number 5. Olivier Ruel recovers from an early mana screw on the back of Phyrexian Arena. Finally draws into land 4 and land 5. Max Brock could not top deck Moloku or invoke the Firemind. So Olivier Ruel has forced game 5. They'll play 1 game. The winner goes to the semis to take on Craig Jones.
Brack's on the play. Again, Brack is undefeated in games wherein he's played first turn since his Divining Top.
Right.
We started
So-
playing at 11.
Would you say that Divining Top is the key card for
much.
Max to draw here? It basically feeds the rest of his strategy, right?
Seems to play a bit slower than last game, so don't go. It seems to play slower this game.
Who do you like in game 5?
Can't not vote for Olivier.
I also did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
I mean, I didn't know what he could draw, and then he
Only
slayed
Yeah,
the
I played
9 million,
like I
9
said,
million
so
Zime
it's
match for
also again,
Kazu.
really.
Slayed it to death.
That slay
Yeah,
was
it's-
clutch. How many slays does he have?
2.
That was clutch.
I think that he's thinking right now that, like, if Max goes back to
Another
combo
Deluxe
version,
Gimbal.
even his inefficient version of his deck with all of the Shrieking Grotesques and Ravenous Rats and Cranial Extractions in is good
I think
enough.
you're gonna roll a die.
Hilarious.
Like, he might not have his
Max is going
And
to
I
roll a
won't tell you
die.
what it is.
he might not
He's-
have his optimal
This is
percentages.
hilarious. Max shuffled all 15 cards into his sideboard. He rolls a die. Yeah, Olivier has no idea what it means.
I mean,
Max,
No.
maybe he was like,
Max
even
is
on
trying
combo,
to
odd.
intimate that he's making a decision based on the die roll in order to put Olivier off his strategic game plan.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure Max knows what he's doing. I don't think Max has much of a chance if he's combo. Olivier has so much discard, and he has cranial extraction. If it connects, it connects.
It's clearly in Max's best interest to make Olivier question which version of the deck he's going to be playing against.
Agreed, but I don't think Olivier is going to deviate from the Slay plan that single-handedly won him Game 4. That Slay was the only thing that kept him in the game, I think.
Well, I mean, a different removal spell probably would have done the trick too, but Slay was the best thing he could draw.
But which one is more exciting than Slay?
I would leave the Slays in. Don't get me wrong. I would leave the Slays in.
So I was basically wrong about that specific versus general removals. Slay seemed pretty good there. Olivier always has Phyrexian Arena. I always walk by and he's got a Phyrexian Arena in play. He's got like 2 in his board.
That's it?
Yeah, he doesn't have any main, just 2 in his board.
Wow.
Like, and he does these cool plays with Paladin on Vec, and I'm like, he's got like the we call it the hand-in-hand deck, because it was like the only deck ever where like Hand of Cruelty went hand-in-hand with Paladin on Vec. It was like Black Knights, White Knights, dogs and cats, and, peace and bunnies.
And now, we were talking earlier about how elegant Max's deck list looks with all of his 1-ofs and 4-ofs, but talk about Olivier's numbers. Like this... 3-4-3-2, 4-3-2-2, 3-4-4-4-2, 6, 1-1-4-4-4. There's a bunch of 2s. What are all 2 Shrieking Grotesque, 3 Hand of Cruelty, 2 Paladin on Vec, 3 Teysa, 2 Okiba Gang, 3 Jete.
The things I particularly don't like are 3 Mortify.
Like I want them all in the deck.
To me, if I'm playing Black-White, one of the main reasons I want to play Black-White is I can play Mortify. And if you're not going to play the 4th, at least it should be in the... No, not in the sideboard. Tarashi's Grasp instead. Let's see. 2 Shrieking Grotesque, 2 Paladin on Vec.
One of those should just be better.
But what's funny, they're both colors. You don't just run Shrieking Grotesque on like white, for example, or like white colorless. Like, no. They're both colors.
I don't really understand. I feel like the best Black-White aggro deck has yet to be built.
I think
there's like 4 different Black-White aggro decks that were competing for top 8 in the last couple rounds of the Swiss. It's like over the next couple of weeks, I feel like people are going to figure out how to hybridize them and sort of figure out what's actually the best tech. It's like this group came up with this card, and this other group came up with this other card, and
definitely the one that Ben Peebles-Mundy played is just like the cutest.
The Tallow Wisp deck is one of my favorites, especially from a sort of Wizards R&D point of view. One of the things R&D's been trying to do is make sure that the blocks play well together. I mean, if any of you read Mark Rosewater's articles, it's sort of one of his big goals as the lead designer for Magic is to try to make sure that the decks that are getting played in Standard combine elements of both blocks. And so one ramification of that is let's work Spirits into Ravnica. And so the Orzhov Spirit is one of the key creature types for in the Orzhov Guild because, well, we didn't know how it was going to fit together with the Kamigawa block, but there's so many Spirit Matters mechanics in the Kamigawa block. Something should come together somewhere, and then all of a sudden, here it is. That team, Ben Goodman leading the charge, put together a Tallowisp deck playing the Spirits from the Orzhov Guild to go take advantage of Tallowisp, grab a bunch of enchantments. It just came together. It's like we didn't know how it was supposed to come together, but it all came together. That was one of my favorites.
Highly synergistic deck was Michael Diesel's deck. He had Nantuko Husk, played Grusalka, and Promise of Boonray.
Yeah.
And Olivier learned quite painfully that the tokens from Promise of Boonray were colorless.
Yes, it was Craig Jones who learned that.
What?
Craig Jones made that same mistake.
Olivier attacked with Hand of Cruelty,
believing they were white.
Into Promise of Boonray.
Yeah, all the Spirit tokens.
And they just jumped in front, and he's like, "This has pro white," and he's like, "Yeah, congratulations, these are colorless." And
yeah, it was
hilarity ensued.
Colorless.
But yeah, like there's the variation, like even Rude's deck is quite different. He is Hypnotic Spectre.
Yeah, Rude and Olivier.
Did you think more Hypnotic Spectres would be played when you put it in 9th edition?
Well, I mean, Hippies clearly had an impact on Constructed. I expected, given the number of Black-White aggro decks, I'm surprised how many of them did not play Hypnotic Spectre.
But
why are there no Hippies?
He's
in
best in
Olivier's
green-black because green can accelerate to Hippie second turn 3 different ways.
Deep Shadow?
He can accelerate to it with Llanowar.
I can make 50-50.
And obviously with Birds of Paradise.
Something like that.
So, like the incentive for green-black or green-black-blue beatdown decks has been lessened by the strength of the black-white cards, which I think hurt Hippie.
Okay.
If green-black were better than black-white, then Hippie would be played.
Okay.
I think that's how it works. But the optimal green beatdown deck appears to be green-red or green-red-white.
Right.
So
yeah, green-black has totally disappeared. I think the Golgari is probably the least represented guild here.
Worst in limited,
trophy?
worst in standard, crushingly best in big formats.
Yeah.
Physical trophy.
Like the Golgari are just so much better than every other guild in extended.
Yeah.
It's just a joke.
9 hours.
Like they're just like too big. They're like
They don't fit in standard.
like their Golgari Grave Troll is just like representative of how it works. It's like Golgari Grave Troll was like on average 15-15. It's like, I'm too big for standard. I only do one thing: win extended tournaments.
Yeah.
He doesn't play in the small prize fights.
That's the only thing.
All right, Olivier Ruel and Max Bracht are going to play one game. The winner goes to the semis to play Craig Jones. Those semifinals are going to be after lunch, queued up for you. We're going to have a 90-minute showdown in New York video for you for your lunchtime entertainment while the players go off to enjoy the top 8 lunch. And then we'll be back with the semifinals right after Lecontro and Lestrade wrap up.
Any player who ever wants to complain about getting top decked out of a match,
Yeah.
let me tell you, Bertrand Lestrade feels your pain, and I'm sure that nobody's ever been in a worse spot than Bertrand.
Do you want to go?
Olivier makes his trademark smiley face with his cards.
Don't copy my moves.
Max also made the smiley face last game, but not this game. It did not work out for him.
Looks to me like Max is.
Oh, he turns the smile into a frown.
But Olivier responds with turning it back into. And Max has got Sensei's Divining Top and Sakura Tri-Builder.
That's the start he wants.
What a
Is that a
team.
kudzu? Is that the other thing?
I don't know. Olivier's like, I only need 3 cards to beat you.
Olivier's only going to have 6.
Yeah, must turn the top 9 cards. Must land on them.
God.
Olivier taking a mulligan.
Who do you think is advantage just in general when Olivier is a creature deck that's optimized to be a creature deck and Max is a creature deck that's optimized to be a heartbeat deck?
Yeah, it seems like Ruel should have an advantage there.
But it doesn't look like it, really.
Well, the thing is that Olivier is not really an aggro deck. Like, I think Max could, like a Zoo deck or a Gruul deck could just come out and roll Max before he can actually set up shop. Olivier's deck isn't that fast. He's sort of aggro control, right? He's trying to play a tempo game. He's trying to, disrupt you a little bit.
Like very dodge around cards.
Yeah, he's like, I get some card advantage off my discard, maybe hit you with a ninja, and then have card advantage going into the late game. I don't know. It might be too cute against somebody who's just like, I got
Monsters.
2 different strategies shuffled together. I got these gigantic monsters. You can't disrupt my mana because he's got and he's got Sensei's Divining Top. Seems like, I think what's going on is that Brock's Divining Tops allow him to offset Olivier's disruption. It's like Olivier's trying to disrupt him, but he's just got, with Divining Top and so much reshuffle, Max is able to piece things together.
That's really interesting. Like last summer, for example, the red deck with Sensei's Divining Top, like you just get persecuted on turn 3 and not care. Like if you had top in play, you just crushed black decks anyway. Let's see, all these hands.
6 cards for Olivier.
Some lands.
I keep.
Yeah, he keeps them. Saw a bunch of lands. Didn't see what any of the spells were. Oh, there's the top.
Go. He has Castigate. He has Hiya!
Castigate and Ninja, but he's got no other monster, right?
He'll draw a drop.
And here's Sakura Tri-Builder.
Like he's probably just gonna draw a Shrieking Grotesque or something really good like that. Jitte's.
Jite is not what he
it's
wanted.
Fine.
He's got no creatures.
His plays are gonna be Castigate, rip a Shrieking Grotesque.
Okay,
play
that would
my
be
4th
good.
land after making you discard. Make you discard 2 more.
Castigate?
He's just
Castigate's obviously the turn 2 play, but he needs a creature next turn or this draw starts getting a lot worse.
All right, Drift of Phantasms. I think he might have to take Drift of Phantasms.
Yeah?
I mean, he's not going to take Sensei's Divining Top. Taking Kodam's is just pretty stupid with Sakura Tri-Builder and top in play.
I mean, you deny him 1 reshuffle.
I don't
Reshuffling
know.
the second time is still good. It's not like the reshuffles get worse.
Nope.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, to be fair, Drift of Phantasm's also reshuffle, so
let me ask you
you're
a
taking
question.
one of his 2 reshuffles.
What does that present Telegraph to Ollie? There were no Drift of Phantasms in Max's deck last game.
Good point.
Ollie might be on the wrong plan with that creature elimination in Jite in his
Well,
hand.
there's Moloku.
And there's Heartbeat of Spring.
And early harvest, right?
We got a game.
I think you're right about Drift of Phantasm being the Castigate play there. I mean, it's easy for us seeing this top, but it just, they're both reshuffle effects, And Drift seems like it goes and gets a spell. Kodama's Reach gets land. Max does not really need land as much as he
I'm
needs
pretty
spells.
sure that given the board that Max already has, that Kodama's Reach is a cantrip, and Drift of Phantasm is a demonic tutor. Like
Right.
it's I'm like
He plays the second top.
that's like taking Reach through mists.
Go.
What? That's not a Shrieking Grotesque.
Nope.
He got the play wrong. It's supposed to be Shrieking Grotesque.
Yeah, the top of his deck got to play wrong.
Cut.
Tops to get the early harvest into his hand before he sacks the Kuro Tribe Elder. So he's got a heartbeat and an early harvest in his hand. All of a sudden, he's dangerously close to just going off, right?
Turbo.
I mean, he may want to take a turn. Oh, Drifted Phantasms is double blue to transmute, right?
Yeah, but if he has early harvest and Heartbeat of Spring, it's
He
irrelevant.
shuffled away the heartbeat. He took Moloku
Yeah,
instead.
there's probably another one on top.
But I was not expecting him to shuffle Heartbeat away. Oh, there, you're right. There's a new one on top. And a second early harvest. Wow.
This looks really bad for Ruel, but
Wow.
last game looked really bad for Ruel as well.
And a
he
very
won.
pretty beta forest.
Is it?
I like the beta basic lands. It's a black bordered early forest, yeah. I mean, it might be alpha, but I think it's beta. All of his basics seem to be betas.
Yeah, he might just blow Olivier out right here.
Puts a forest on
He
top
could
to
just
draw.
play a land and go Moloku.
It's not bad.
I mean, although all he has the Seize the Soul, which actually allows him
Yeah,
to
but
clock.
that's fine.
No, it lets him clock with Jitte.
Not this turn.
Eventually.
Moloku was just buying him a turn and a land drop. Like, that was Time Walk. I'm going to force you to deal with my Moloku when it's not even my game plan. His game plan is a combo kill.
Is it possible
He's just-
to hound the new token?
He asked the same question 2 games ago.
Yeah. I just don't know the new abilities.
But he asked the same question 2 games ago. True. So you think that he's going to go Heartbeat combo you out? Ollie should have taken the Drift of Phantasms. This could very, very greatly punish him.
Still doesn't have a second blue. To
It
transmute.
doesn't matter. He has Heartbeat of Spring Early Harvest.
Right.
In fact, I think he has access to double Early Harvest.
Yes.
Depending on what is on top of Max's deck, he could just play with Ollie and put Drift out. Which is actually seems kind of stupid, but I think that there are a lot.
I think it's way more powerful as a demonic tutor. His hand has no card drawing card, right? It has no action.
His deck doesn't have a lot of card drawing cards. He's a manipulation deck.
Right, well, and that's why he needs the drift. His hand is early harvest, heartbeat of spring.
Is he just gonna play that?
Scott Ollie tapped out. There's heartbeat of spring. Well, knows what's up now. And he transmutes.
For...
Now he's out of mana, right?
Hey, he's gonna have
early
one
harvest?
floating for... Did he just get Kodama's Reach?
Yes.
So he has one... He'll have... Did he overtap? What happened? He's black floating. So he's just gonna shuffle top to evade burn, I think.
But he's exposing his heartbeat for a turn.
Does that matter? He has... I don't even know what plan he's on right now. He has early harvest nothing.
I mean, he obviously could have early harvested here, and he chose not to.
Yeah, but he had nothing. So...
He had transmute for...
Yeah, he has Spire. He has another... He has no mountain right now. But he got Kodama's Reach. Ollie has to take a big turn here.
Yeah.
Because of...
Well, if Ollie needs a big turn, but he's going to have 8 mana to play with, so he can have one.
Well, we know he has Okiba Gang Shinobi.
True.
And Mortify and Castigate.
Really?
And Max was like, hey, why don't you have 8 mana?
Oh.
Here's 8 mana.
What is going on?
I mean,
Why is Max exposed his heartbeat of spring here? We know he's got Kodama's Reach and early harvest in his hand. All right. Hiya! Yeah, Ollie ninjas out Okiba Gang. That is both cards from Max Brack's hand.
Would you call that a critical hit? That
Yeah,
double-
he rolled a 20
rolled
and then he rolled
a
to confirm.
20.
Now, I mean, Max could flip top to save one of those 2 cards.
And then the Castigate will hit him.
Wow.
He doesn't know about the Castigate?
Yep.
Do you think he's going to flip top?
I'm just saying it's an option. I don't know what he does.
Those cards are both fantastic. He spent a Drift of Phantasms getting that Kodama's Reach. Oh, but he might have put like a highly relevant card on top.
Maybe. I don't remember.
I
And he's out of
think
mana,
he might
so-
not remember right now.
Well, he's out of mana, so he can't check.
But,
Yeah.
Still top in play.
He's trying to remember what he put there.
He's also already picked up one slow play warning in this match.
There was too many cool things going on from Max's side, I think. I can't even tell what plan he's on.
No, I mean, I think he's supposed to be on the combo plan, but we know Olivier's Disruption is really good against that plan, so I think the creature plan was better than the combo plan. But he had all the combo pieces, and like, if his...
Let me ask you a question.
I admit, I have not watched Max Brack go off, but I don't understand why he doesn't go off last turn. He has access to Early Harvest, Heartbeat of Spring, and he can tutor something up with Drifted Phantasms. That should be good enough, right? What's he missing?
He didn't have red mana. He can't go for fire. He can't go for Firemind.
So he was a turn away?
He'd have to blow all of his blue mana drifting, and he doesn't. He was waiting one turn. That's why he got Kodama's Reach.
Yeah,
he
I
could
guess
have
he would
Maga
have to
for
go
like
for Maga.
12 and then die to a Mortify. It's like he's in really bad times right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny. I say he's exposing his Heartbeat of Spring, but I guess it's even more vulnerable in his hand than it is on the table.
Yeah,
There's only
like I
one
said,
card
I don't
that
think
gets
it
on the
matters
table.
that he puts it out, and I don't know that Ollie will even blow his Mortify on it. Once he takes the cards out of Max's hand, especially if Max runs a flip top, then Ollie's going to probably just leave it.
Yeah, I mean, the real problem with putting it on the table is that it doubles Ruel's mana.
Calculate?
Yeah, I
I have a
mean,
minute for calculating.
well, it's like I said, I don't think it's necessarily an error on the part of Max. I just think that it doesn't matter from the perspective of Olivier. Other than he got to do this amazing turn, which is obviously a positive, not.
Max is talking to the judge. He's being encouraged to play at a reasonable speed. These are untimed matches, but the players are still obliged to play at a reasonable pace.
What do you
Max
think he's
asks for one
calculating?
more minute. I guess his chances to win in various situations, like if he's got one card left in his hand, does he want it to be the card that's on top of his library, or does he want it to be one of the two that's in his hand?
Well,
I mean, we know Olivier's got a Castigate, but Max doesn't know that.
Max can't afford to flip top here. Look, if Olivier has so much as a ravenous rat,
Right.
he can't flip top. He doesn't have to know about the Castigate. Olivier's got cards. If he doesn't flip top, likely Olivier will use the Mortify.
I'm
And he
on
flip
16,
tops.
not on 20. I took 2 from
Right.
trade.
Flips the top.
And that could be game.
Picks up his second Heartbeat.
Discard.
He's going to discard Heartbeat and Kodama's
Kodama's
Reach.
Reach, so he keeps his early harvest.
Ollie's got 4. If Ollie has a land, this is just dismal. 4 float.
4 mana. There's the
Castigate.
Castigate. Max Brack just nods. Yep. Early harvest removed from the game.
Equip.
With his last 2 mana, he equips a Jete. Alright, so Max has no cards in hand. Does have Heartbeat of Spring in play. Draws the Sensei's Divining Top.
Why does
gets
he
the
tap
look.
his black? He has all that green. Why does he tap his black?
Invoke Muddle. Is that Muddle?
Yeah, what's Muddle going to do?
Get Weird Harvest, I guess.
What's Weird Harvest going to do?
Fill up his hand with Demonic Tutors?
Ollie gets the Weird Harvest too. He's gonna get a handful of Ravenous Rats if he does that. There's not gonna be enough Demonic Tutors to help him. Anything that he gets
He's also going to get hit by a Akiba Gang. So.
on card advantage is just worthless. He has to set up a real kill.
So he says go, right?
Yeah,
He just wants no cards in his hand. He's going to have to get hit by Akiba Gang again. So.
But I mean, it's
May as well not have
there's
any
no
cards in your
profit other than
Well, next turn he can get
3
2 cards
plus
into
7
his hand.
Take for 3.
tag. And I mean, I can't imagine that Heartbeat of Spring's going to live through this turn. Although Max can just flip top into muddle. He'll go for it. Ooh.
Ghost Council.
17-13.
13 to 17 now.
You know what? I think Ollie might actually be just sitting on his Mortify, wait for Max to try to take a big turn, stack big
Get it
turn,
against the
respond,
speed.
annihilate you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's just, I guess, thought this through a little bit more than we have.
All right. Max draws off the top. Card he put there with the top.
He can
Digs another one. Still muddle, still invoke. Island.
get island and play it. Oh wait, he's already drawn his card. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's drawn a card for the turn. He could have done this. No, he couldn't do this up.
No.
There were no fresh
I
cards.
think
on
maybe
upkeep.
he should flip top, get the island, play it, and then use the muddle to get Jitte. I don't know. Like,
One mana in pool, right? No. No.
like his muddle is next to dead, which is the problem. If he goes for Weird Harvest, he's just going to be on the wrong end of every weapon in Ruel's deck.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. If it's just in his hand, just as bad. He can go like, I guess he has one floating, muddle for harvest, harvest for 4. But then Ollie just gets 4 Ravenous Rats or something. Oh, he doesn't even have to. There's Okiba Gang in play.
Meanwhile, Max really does have to start worrying about the judges here, because he's been taking a lot of time with not a lot of really decisions either. I mean, he's searching for some miracle. Like, it's either there or it isn't, right? There's either... He should know his deck well enough to know.
I don't think players who are in this position, halfway desperate, just go.
He said go.
Surely muddling for Sakura Tribe Elder, playing Sakura Tribe Elder, and thawing for red is better than go.
I mean,
Oh,
I
yes.
asked you, you said I had one.
Yes,
he's
you
gonna
said
mana
that. Oh,
burn.
yeah, that's the turn you played a divine. Oh, no, it's the turn before. No, you have one.
Yeah, he had one.
Okay, then I
He actually said he had one, I
yes,
believe.
And it might
yes,
change
yes,
something. Yeah,
yes,
ask you-
everyone if
Okay,
you had
well.
mana floating
Yeah.
and you
passed.
just got a double no in response. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Randy, seriously, I think muddle for Sakura Tribe Elder, play Sakura Tribe Elder, block the whoever, it doesn't matter, and then get a red. This just got to be.
he's not going to get to block. It's Jitte counter. It's going to kill
Oh,
it.
I guess there's Jitte counters.
Yeah.
But didn't he say go and now he's on transmute?
He had a mana floating in his pool. They're following the Moto Idiot rule. that
Moto
you
Idiot
proposed.
rule. Right. For those of you at home who don't know what the Moto Idiot rule is, it's this new rule that I thought up, which is if there's a prompt on Moto that would save you from being an idiot, then you get the Moto Idiot rule pass. An example would be you have mana in pool. On Moto, it's like, are you sure you want to continue? You have mana in your pool. A different example would be if there's say there's like an Orochi hatchery that has a total mana cost of 10, and you tap your Urzatron to repeal the Orochi hatchery. The Moto Idiot rule would make you burn.
Actually, it's an illegal target on Moto.
It's not a legal target.
It's choose X. Choose X. You hit the button 10 times.
Take a look.
Or 5 times, whatever, and then it says X is 5, and it's not a legal target.
Oh man,
Hatchery gets shaded out. Still, the rule's plausible. I mean,
that one's really close.
yeah.
And it was.
The spirit of your proposal still makes sense.
See how this whole thaw for red is good?
It's totally the case that you can alt U in the Pro Tour now. Like, you didn't used to be able to alt U. 5 years ago, you never could untap a land after you took your hand off of it, and now people do it all the time. It's just alt U exists in Paper Magic.
I like the alt U.
Yeah, it's just a friendlier environment. Nobody's, you took your hand off that. Everybody's just kind of relaxed and having a good time playing Magic. Meanwhile, Max Brack did the play you suggested. He muddled for Sakura Tribe Elder. Ting! And Olivier is, of course, going to nail it with a Jitte counter.
Max almost certainly going to get Mountain here.
I would think so.
I mean, he'll be a little sad that Savage Twister is no longer on top of his deck. But Savage Twister's pretty poor against triple counter Jitte Ghost Council anyway. But at least he has more options once he gets Mountain. He's basically playing off the top with the top at this point.
So when do you mortify Heartbeat if you're Olivier?
I think he's still... I mean, it depends what he's got, but I think he's probably still just going to wait. Like, what's the... Max has no cards. For him to go for a big turn, Ollie can always respond. Max is never going to have enough cards to fight Ollie's hand at this point. If he plays...
He got an island, not a mountain.
Really?
He was looking at the island, he was looking at the mountain, he chose the island.
He must have a plan that we don't see.
Looks like full line.
That he's what he's going to have Fire Mine on top of his deck again?
Olivier says attack for 9. Uses the Jitte counter to pump up Okiba Gang.
Go to 4.
That drops Max to 4.
Collis. Black. White. Tesa almost fight.
Tesa and Mortify on Heartbeat.
And with tapped blue mana, that will resolve. Heartbeat Muddle on top. He's dead on board. G.
Yeah, there's no one card that Max can use to come back here.
Draw it now? You drew it now?
No.
I'm pretty sure Max handed this game to Olivier. What do you think?
I don't see exactly where the path was. It's one of those like searching for Bobby Fischer times, right? It's like don't move until you see it. Don't move until you see it. I didn't see it, but somebody better than me might have been able to find the way to piece those pieces together. It sure felt like Max had enough pieces, but he couldn't find a way to do it all in one turn. He had to expose himself for one turn, and Olivier
he wouldn't
just
have gotten
smashed him.
Gang, Castigate, Jitte. Gang and Cascade and Jitte in one turn. He might have been able to live through just Gang, let's say.
Right.
If possible. He would have actually at least had another card in hand to buffer the Gang. And considering the fact that he had a backup Heartbeat of Spring, that's an issue.
Yeah, Ollie is flipping an invisible pen in response to Max flipping his real pen.
It looks like Ollie's invisible pen knocked Max's pen out of his hand.
There's nothing here, right? Max is topping. He had a backup Heartbeat, but it's got to be early harvest. There's no way. It sure looks like Olivier Ruel is one attack phase away. There's the hand. Olivier Ruel, ladies and gentlemen, wins it in 5. Olivier Ruel advances to the semifinals. Olivier will play Craig Jones. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, Tiago Chan will play Mark Herberholz. We're now going to queue up the showdown in New York. It's going to be Mike Lecanto against Bertrand Lestray.
Let's not get full mana
Lunch? You ready for lunch?
I'll lunch. I'll watch Magic the Gathering Classics.
They both sound like fun. Bertrand and Lecanto have been waiting 10 years to get on the webcast. Finally time?
This is a legendary match. For those of you who don't know, like, back in the day, in the idiom, there was no MagicTheGathering.com. There was not even Sideboard.com.
Not even Dojo.
There was no The Dojo. There was just print magazines.
Right.
And in the legend of the print magazines, be they the Duelist Sideboard, Inquest, it was like, and the first Black Lotus Pro Tour event was decided by a single top deck, and the whole thing when Hammer was a big star and Lecanto had just won with his blue-white. Hammer also was blue-white in the top 8, by the way. If you don't know, was that if you made a single mistake with a blue-white control deck, you would never win, and that this was the greatest test of Magic's skill. And then it just talked over and over again about how Lecanto's low amount of permission forced him to play better and better Magic. When in fact, what happened? Should I spoil the ending?
No,
I won't spoil the ending.
You
watch and you tell me what you think later. So it's really interesting. Many consider it one of the legendary bad beat
it's obviously
stories.
Historically famous too, right? This was the
first Pro
beginning.
Tour.
I really feel like the Pro Tour changed the gaming industry in a lot of ways. Like Wizards of the Coast had this card game that was hot and maybe a fad, a lot of people thought, but no, the Pro Tour, I think, almost single-handedly turned it into a sport instead of a fad, turned it into something permanent, something that's still around for us to talk about 10 years later. And
look at how
the
big
gaming
it is
industry.
Now. No one, I mean, SCAF would not have
No,
imagined that you would have
thousands
this
of people
layout
watching on the webcast,
10
tens
plus
of
years
thousands
ago.
of people downloading the archives, and I mean that's just a small fraction of the number of people playing Magic. I mean there's way more to Magic than just the Pro Tour.
And look at how much we care. The people we talk to, work with, friends of ours care.
All right, enough setup. Let them watch. We are going to be back at 3 p.m. in Honolulu time, so that's 8 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. That's a little over 90 minutes from now. Meanwhile, enjoy the show. For Mike Flores, I'm Randy Bueller. We will see you for the semifinals.
Aloha.
Aloha.